Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master today. Today, we are continuing on with our ongoing campaign playing Pathfinder First Edition's very cool, where is it? Iron God's Adventure Path. And with me this morning to return to the land of sword, sorcery, and science are the stars of this campaign. I'll go in the order that I've got you guys left to right on the screen. First up is John. Tell us who you are and who you're playing.
Hey guys, I am playing Kyrus, the Kellid human Skald VMC Bard, and I will be your music entertainment.
Nice. Next up is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I'm playing Vortimer. How about I read you the quote that I sent to everybody? At this, the Britons quickly abandoned Vortigern and in their anger unanimously made his son Vortimer king. He, being in complete agreement with them, began to drive out the barbarians, fighting them and launching sharp attacks. 4 battles he fought against them, all of which he won. So that's sort of my expectations for where the campaign is going.
Definitely. I will keep my eye out for Britons in the Oh man. Next up is Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon playing Olgar Butt of Kroom, and although don't get too used to him because he's currently at the bottom of a hole and maybe facing imminent peril.
Oh, next up is Jamie.
I'm Jamie. I'll be playing Gunther Scarred Face, also called Scarface affectionately by his friends, which is also a symbol of prestige and honor in the Kellid Barbarian Society in Numeria. And looking forward to it.
Nice. And last but not least is Isaac.
And Isaac is playing the Blind Prophet, the one who woke up today, saw nothing, and somehow ended up looped into an adventure yet again. Wizard.
All right. So last session was fairly eventful, and we left ourselves in a bit of a cliffhanger as well. Algar, you want to tell us where you're finding yourself currently?
So there was a hole in the junkyard where we worked, and we crawled, and I crawled through it in advance, and I fell down a hole, and it was I was with Kyrus. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and unless you think that Algar is just a curious person who really should have known better, there was the sound of the junkyard's dog, Mange, who was barking from somewhere deep in that hole.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
As much as I love that dog, he's lost.
Yeah. The other thing that you noticed as well was the kind of like lintel design that was crudely affixed above that hole in the trash. Do you remember what it looked like?
No.
So the symbol was a stylized metallic claw.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like I've seen it in a dream before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or a prelude cutscene. So, geez, like Kyrus was outside of this. Algar, you had climbed inside, leaving, I believe, your halberd out with Kyrus as well, and you've triggered some kind of. I think you did leave that behind, didn't you? I thought that was because of.
Well, that's fine. We can say I did if it didn't.
I think we agreed that it was a reach weapon, and so wasn't going to be very useful inside.
Yeah, I passed my club to him before he went in there.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm not trying to edit you into. Damn it! Save versus edit. No, so you made your way in there. Some kind of insidious trap gave way. You fell down into the darkness, and there was a kind of high-pitched reptilian, childlike giggling.
Yeah, I was following behind him with the dancing lights so I could keep an eye on him, but
that sounds pretty dangerous. And I think any DM worth his salt would be starting there, but not this Bush League DM. We are starting.
Oh, no.
So when what we see is, we maybe see, that same hole. We see Kairos outside, shouting in, Algar, what happened? And
Oh,
Algar, down in that pit, a little banged and bruised up. We hear that laughing off in the darkness. Algar, your eyes get wide. You're looking around like, where the hell is that coming from? And then we go to black, and we see in white lettering, last night. And we find ourselves back in the Foundry Tavern. And we know that last night in the Foundry Tavern, there was quite a bit of activity.
I was going to say Kairos got lucky. I thought that was what we were going back to for a
I
second.
won my wrestling match.
I did not get lucky.
Algar was manhandled by Parga Gar, a half-orc woman who definitely has a liking for Kairos and apparently has a disliking for Algar.
I think Kairos might have gotten manhandled too.
I held my own in that one.
So let's go to the Torch NPC thing here, because we're going to talk about some of the people we saw in town. I don't think I've got one for... No, I don't have a picture for Parda still. But hanging out in the Foundry Tavern, and Jamie, I think you're the only one who hasn't maybe seen this. You may have before, but this is the... where you
I
guys
have
were?
before, so I'm all...
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
right
there
there
you
with you.
Okay, so you were sitting in the corner, kind of keeping to yourself, and then there was a man who came in, who you can see on the screen here, a human, tall, wiry character. He's in his, like the illustration, I think, looks a little older than what he is, but he's really only about 23 or so. He has been working, so he's, I think, a little bit older than you are. This is Garel Sonder. And Garel is kind of, he's kind of got a reputation as a ne'er-do-well. He's kind of the, that guy who, is constantly got some kind of scheme to make a little, money. And his reason for doing that is, oh, you know what? Hold up. I'm a dummy. I didn't grab my campaign notes. Give me 1 sec, guys.
I have my campaign notes.
Mine have been here for 2 weeks, so...
If I recall correctly, he very much had an infatuation with Amelia Otterbury or Otterby.
There's that damn Gerald again.
Sorry about that.
Just leave me be. I'm in my thoughts. Need a few drinks. Need a little downtime.
So, what you know about Garel is he recently has kind of had a bit of a, Saul on the road to Tarsus moment, and has really tried to turn his life around. To that end, he has been working for Ragnar, or with Ragnar, as sort of an export, trying to work on sort of fledgling export business, identifying stuff that isn't going to be of value in Torch and trying to get it out. That's in addition to whatever other crap he can kind of pick up for cheap and hopefully sell for a little more money down in Hajoth Hakados. Let's just refresh our memory. Boom, on this really awesome map of Numeria. So our campaign is taking place in Torch, but where he travels is a place downriver called Hajoth Hakados, which may be my favorite name for a fantasy game, because, and Arlen, you must be so offended by my faux Texas accent now that I know.
It doesn't bother me. You can probably tell I don't have too much Texas twang in my accent, so it doesn't bother me.
Okay. So Hajoth
Canadian,
Hakados,
they probably expect me to be finishing sentences with A.
So Hajoth Hakados is a not only is it a kind of like the last port in Numeria, it's also the most cosmopolitan and the most sort of accepting of the kind of areas in Numeria in terms of other races, in terms of civil freedoms and things like that. And that's largely because it is the farthest away from Starfall. It's well outside the control of the Technic League. So one of the things that we see is Sonder has made his way back in to the tavern. He looks over and he sees you sitting there, Gunther, lost in your thoughts. What do you think you're doing? Are you just sort of staring at your drink, or are you just watching the
That's
crowd?
exactly what he's doing. He's just staring at his drink. Well, as a gunslinger, Gunther is aware of everything that comes in and out of the bar. He's seated at the back somewhere where he keeps his eyes on everybody. And
He's
yeah,
waiting for a
he's
duel
just
to
drinking
come.
and waiting. He's thinking. He's deep in his thoughts. Just leave me be. Keep the drinks coming.
Okay. So, what? Amelia Otterby, right? That's what it is. So the reason that and you know this Gunther, is because you Sonder is someone you kind of grew up with, and he's a bit of an outsider as well. So I think you guys have, for whatever reason, you've got a friendship. And he walks in, and you're sort of lost in thoughts. You're aware of people going around, but somehow this guy, he is pretty fucking sneaky. So he's able to sneak up on you, and he's suddenly beside you, and you see this flap, something drops on the table in front of you. And
Damn it, Gerald! I told you to be careful about sneaking up on me. Gonna get your nuts shot off.
You gotta watch. Got to keep your eyes open there, Gunther. And he kind of slaps you in the shoulder. How are you?
Yeah. Drinking. What are you doing?
So what he's dropped on the table in front of you is something that's kind of it's wrapped in like it's not butcher paper, but it'd be, I guess, like whatever the Pathfinder equivalent of butcher paper is. So it's like maybe like a leather kind of thing, something to protect whatever the package is from the environment. And this thing is wrapped up, and it's got a piece of old twine on it. Maybe it's like filthy old piece of wiring that's used as the wrap, and it's about like that wide and that long. So it's about a book size. He says, it nods towards it. Got something for you.
So Gunther lazily takes his hand away from his drink and with a finger unwraps it, see what the package is, rolls it till he can tell what it is. Does it have any weight to it?
It weighs it. I mean, it's definitely not like metal or anything like that. It's fairly light. And you unwrap it, and would you give me a deception check? Deception's a skill in Pathfinder, right?
Bluff.
Bluff.
Sleight of hand, bluff.
Bluff. That's what I want. Bluff. Thank you.
Yeah, that's one of -1. It'd be 18.
Okay. So what I wanted to know is whether you could hide your surprise, because what you find when you open it up, there are 3 issues of the Pathfinder journal in there.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'll be damned.
Garel's going to get lucky.
Well, now I owe you a drink, Garel. Have a seat.
How does Gunther react to that? Like, do we see it on his
does
face,
hide
or
his
is it just like
He
there's a little twinkle in his eye, and that's it? That's all we see.
Well, and he acknowledges it verbally. I mean, that's as much emotional reaction as you're going to get from him. But yes,
Okay.
And then he tips his hat and invites Gerald to have a seat and share a beer.
Okay. He
Raises a hand, signal the waitress. Who is it? The
Val.
the daughter.
So
Val, over here.
So he says, "Oh, I can't keep. I've got to go see Amelia. I just want to drop those off." And I got to tell you, I mean, you're going to keep them hidden, right? And the reason he's telling you that is because obviously you know that the Technic League has outlawed Pathfinder Journal, and the Pathfinder Society is outlawed from Numeria. So you'd probably keep your.
Okay, so in that case, he'll fold it right back up as soon as he sees what it is and slide it away when he gets the chance.
Okay. And he says, "And did you find what I asked?" And what he's asking about is So he has the sort of the impetus behind his change has been his relationship with Amelia Otterby, who is the daughter of one of the preeminent smiths, and actually a council member, a guy named Bazlundi Otterby. And Otterby, she basically Garel and Amelia do want to get married, but he's a penniless vagrant right now, and what he's asked you to find is something that will be that he'll be able to sort of refashion into an appropriate gift for someone of her standing. What do you think it is that he's been asking you to look for?
I don't know. Maybe some kind of rare device from a robot or something. Something that Gunther could find in the junkyard.
Yeah.
That would be hard to find but valuable.
Sure. So like maybe like a
But this also has kind of an aesthetic beauty to it, like the little circuit in Back to the Future.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So and you have. I mean, I'm assuming that you have got that. So is that something you think you would keep at home, or would you keep it on you to pass over to your buddy, or?
Well, if it was the kind of thing that he felt that he rarely saw Garel, yeah, he would keep it safe at home.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'd have to go get it or arrange to meet him later.
Sure.
So
So
he got it tucked away safely. Just been waiting for you to get back from your business down south.
Okay. So he's like, "Woo!" Very excited by it. He claps you on the shoulder and he's like, "Thanks. Worth it. Yes, I knew I could count on you."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, have a seat. Come on.
Oh, I can't stay. I gotta see Amelia. It's been a week. But you gotta keep your eye out though, Gunther. I mean, look at that guy, and he points at one of the guys at the bar. Look at him.
Nah, I've seen him.
Do you look over?
Well, he slides his eyes over. He knows what he's talking about.
When you slide your eyes back, Garel has finished drinking your drink.
Yeah, bastard.
Boom. Put down in front of you. He gives you a grin. It says, Wings, he's like, "All right, I'll come by tomorrow."
All right, I'll have it ready for you. See you then.
All right, thanks. And he kind of shakes your shoulders in a friendly way, and then he heads out. And that's around the time.
Kind of chuckles to himself, amusingly.
Yeah, and you had the stack of Pathfinder journals as well too.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's like, thinking to himself, I can't wait to get back and see which volumes these are. Is it the one about exploring Avestan, or is it the one about discovering the Darklands? Ooh.
Yes, it is. It is. I imagine like whatever, cool, unaffected demeanor that you've been displaying, sitting on your own, all grim and whatnot, is now you like looking down at your lap, trying to see this stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then we'll cut now till to tomorrow. And we're back at that scene where Kairos, you're shouting down into the what do you call it? The hole where you just heard someone fall. And we'll just have Gunther, you're gonna come into the scene now too. And basically what we'll say is that you're up, it's morning. You're slept in a little later because Kairos brought Partagar back with him again, and that's never conducive to a restful evening.
Fatigue for the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen mange this morning, so I'm looking for mange.
No, so maybe that's what you're doing. You're looking around for mange, and you can hear Kairos shouting at someone down one of the hall, or down one of the alleyways or whatever. The not alleyways, what would you call it? I don't know, corridors?
Mhm.
Aisles.
Sure, aisles, yeah, that'll work.
Between the stacks.
Yeah, between the stacks.
Shouting about.
So you kind of come around the corner and you can see Kairos is sort of like hunched over a bit and shouting down into this big gaping black hole, and it's got that sort of crudely made frame to it, and then there's that weird claw-like accoutrement right at the top of the frame.
Hey, be careful messing around those stacks. You'll get 2 tons of junk collapse on your head.
I look over and say, Algar has fallen in a hole, I think. He went after me. They're in the hole.
Well, he's in deep.
You're going to get a point of Ferric Fate for that too. That was great role playing.
Oh, thank you. Let me get
I'm okay.
Pull him out.
Cool. You recognize Algar's voice. Algar's is shouting from somewhere, in the darkness down there. You've got dark vision, I guess, so you can see that it carries down about 20 feet, and then it kind of doglegs to the right, and that seems to be around where his voice is coming from. Would Gunther and Kairos, both of you guys, give me a perception check, please?
Absolutely.
Let's make mit to perceiving. Okay. Kairos apparently suffers from an affliction that most skalds have, which is known as rockstar hearing.
Well, I'm also a human, so I don't have dark vision.
No. It's something. It's whether you're going
Oh.
to hear something is. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, I'm trying to get to it here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem.
I'm still familiarizing myself with Roll20
Can't roll good all the
functionality.
time.
Oh, sure. So if you go to I think it's the first tab of your character sheet. That there should be the skills there listed on the.
Okay.
I think.
what I couldn't find it.
Just click on the skill and it should prompt you for a modifier. And
Okay, that modifier is not correct. That's all that is. He actually has a +7 total.
Okay, so maybe what you're hearing, I guess, the only thing you can hear probably because you've been specifically listening for this before, Gunther, is that mange down there too? You can hear like a yelping or whining of a dog, and like there's probably been some time where mange has like tussled with something that he should not have been tussling with and hurt himself. Otherwise,
Is that what we're hearing? Okay.
Yeah, like I'm picturing that dog being like, tough as old shoe leather, kind of thing. Tough as a nickel steak, as they say. And so for it to be whining like that, like it's got to be something. So somehow the dog is down there, and Algar is down there. What do you make of
The
this?
prophet like meanders in. It's like, I don't suppose any of you brought a rope.
Oh, I have a rope.
Yep, got one here back at the shack. Just
What we
gonna
need
go
to
over
do
and
is
get it.
we need to get a plank so we can like not fall in the hole.
And we also
For a plank, some kind of.
Yeah, I
we
think
need to be careful too. Sounds like Mange has been messing with something again. There might be something lurking around. Might be a rabbit or gone crazy from fluid.
Gunther, I think that you don't need to make a roll for this, but because you're sort of part of the junkyard crew here as well, this wasn't here yesterday. Like this hole here, it's absolutely something you would have been keeping an eye out for,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is bizarre. Is this like a mechanical, some kind of contraption or whatever? I don't have any.
You actually can't unless you crawl into the hole. The hole itself is about 5 foot high, about 5 foot wide. So you're gonna have to hunch a little bit to get in there, and it goes down. It's as if somehow the metal and the detritus and scrap and whatnot was all stacked in just such a way that you'd have this sort of corridor that you could crawl through, and that goes down about 20 feet, and then it doglegs to the right, and it's going down at a very slight angle. And that's where you actually can't even see unless you crawl inside there. You actually can't see. Algar shouted out what's happened.
Okay, well, no problem. Well, Gunther is gonna like you said, he's gonna go get his pack from the shed nearby, and he's got a rope in that and his other gear. On his sheet, that's all marked drop to ground because in terms of encumbrance, he has to drop that bag.
Fine. Yeah.
I told Gunther it might be the gremlins that we saw some signs of.
Didn't Vortimer say something last night about gremlins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it'd be good to grab him.
Yeah, but should we leave Algar alone? Maybe Gunther can go grab them?
Oh, yeah. Gremlins. Good thinking. Let's round up the others.
Well, I think we said in the first session that Gunther doesn't actually live at the junkyard, right? He's got a place outside.
I'm not sure if we determined that or not, but yeah, sure, he's probably got a place.
Okay,
somewhere.
so you probably live. Yeah, so we'll just say you'll go. And it was.
It's probably at like one of the manor arms
Yeah.
or something where he can just get a little small room. Very simple. All he needs is 4 walls and a cot.
Yeah,
And I think that's about what Vortimer has too.
Yeah. So we'll say you guys collect those two. You run over, grab your gear, and we'll say you run into Vortimer as well, or collect him. And we'll say that Prophet is there's yet another part that Connor wants you to get. So maybe you're sort of on your way there when you run into Vortimer on the way back and Gunther on the way back as well. And still,
Vortimer need a hand.
Gremlin mission.
Might have gremlins loose again.
burning above you to the left is still the big, violet beam that identifies torch. So you guys get back. You're going to have some time, Kyrus and Algar to kill while you're down there. Algar, did you want to try and actually climb out?
I'm gonna try and get him out. I'm gonna find a plank and crawl in there and see if I can drop a rope to him.
Yeah,
Yeah, Gunther would have left his rope before he left the scene to go get everybody. So he left the rope and gear there, so he can grab it on the way back.
I think there's probably enough. There's enough handholds and stuff in this. The pit is unfortunately, it's not like a clean, 4-wall kind of pit. It's just basically a hole that is just as jagged and and as imperfect as what the little tunnel was as well. So I think you'd probably be able to try and climb up anyway.
Okay.
So do you want to give me a climb check?
Climb check, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think it's a DC 10.
Clicked on it. Let's.
It may have prompted you for a modifier.
Did not. Let's try that again.
Do you have the character sheet popped out?
I do.
Yeah, so just click on the actual Roll20 screen. That's where the modifier shows up. Or the prompt at least.
Hold on. Let's try to just do it here. There it is. Modifier. So just do a regular. Just say submit.
Yeah, just say 0.
Okay.
Oh, we discovered something last night too. If you have a positive modifier, just enter the number. Don't hit plus whatever. Otherwise, it'll just give you 0. Oh, and that one.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right. So and I can't remember if we mentioned this before we went live or not, but we've discussed that rather than hero points, we are going to make use of something we're calling Ferric Fortune.
That's right. No, I was here. Yeah, that's. I think we're gonna do that.
So go ahead and give me a reroll.
Okay.
Oh man.
Also,
yeah. Oh yeah. Very, very possible.
There we go. Big money. Big money.
Oh,
well, that's a lot better.
Way better. Yeah. Pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are able to, find purchase in the side, and your big Numerian muscles straining. You're pulling yourself up. There's a point where you step down on one, and it completely gives way, and there's this plank of little license plate sized piece of metal or sky metal slips out and falls down. But you're able to catch yourself, and then you get yourself to the top and pull yourself over. Are you going to pull yourself up and over on the side of the pit that leads back out, or that leads deeper in?
Back out.
Okay.
Back out.
Okay. So you get yourself up, and maybe by the time that Gunther and Vortimer and Prophet make their way back, you're sort of crawling your way out. You're a little banged up, a little bruised. You've got some cuts and contusions. Yeah. What do you say?
I think there's some gremlins down there. I didn't want to have all the fun. I thought I'd wait up for you guys.
yeah.
Those wounds look pretty nasty.
Oh, so nothing but a
Sense motive, you're totally fine.
and he hides it. He does his best to hide his wounds.
Yeah.
That's not good. If we got a gremlin infestation, we best go in and clean them out.
Yeah, so Algar, I can help with that if you want me to. You just have to ask.
That's a little brother's thing to do too.
I don't know what he's selling. I don't want to touch him.
Say,
He gotta wait until maybe Gunther's gonna go. I don't know if he's gonna go out of the hole, or he's got his attention down and he's gonna quickly nod.
He doesn't want to look weak in front of Gunther.
No.
That's awesome. All right. So let's see here.
With cure light wounds on him.
All right. So
You have 4 hit points back.
go 4 hit points.
Okay.
Nice. Good, man.
If you want, John, too, to add, and forgive me if you know this already, too, if you want to have it roll in there automatically, just hit double square bracket, then hit 1d8 plus whatever the modifier is, and then 2 closing square brackets, and it'll automatically roll it for you.
Okay, I will add that.
Yeah.
I put that in the description.
Yeah, just put it in the description of the spell, like next to where it says. What I typically do is I just add it right next to where the roll is. So I have opening square bracket, 1d, like whatever the actual roll is, and then closing square bracket, and then it'll automatically roll it, and it'll prompt up in a different like little box color thing too, so it's easy to see.
Does that work?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, but we'll use your. I think you rolled. Well, actually, you rolled the exact same thing, 4 and 4. So you are.
So while that's going on, Gunther dramatically pulls out his belt and holstering gun and straps it on and ties the bottom to his leg. Picks the gun, make sure it's loaded.
One bit of just tech support stuff I want to say as well. So when you guys take damage or when you get heals, one easy way to modify thing, if you click on your token and it prompts up, click on the red circle and you can hit plus whatever or minus whatever, and it'll automatically do the math for you.
Okay.
So it's I used to know that, and then last night I did it by accident, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that function. It's that way I don't have to do the math in my head. Okay, so who is going in first? You guys are going to have to go in single file. Why don't we do this? I'm going to zoom out just a scooch here. Why don't you guys put your
Gunther will go in first. He's ready. He's had to shoot the heads off of a few of these.
So position your tokens in your marching order, with the first at the top and then moving your way down for whoever is actually going into the hole.
The wizard in the middle, where she can shed some light.
Yeah, I'll go behind the wizard.
I can go after Gunther.
Okay.
Vortimer hasn't been specifically asked to do anything, I don't think. So he is just, stand outside and stand guard.
Okay.
Android, you were jumping at the opportunity to save me from children, but a couple of gremlins have you scared?
Are we going in? No,
Yeah.
Vortimer just couldn't tell that we were going to do anything. Are we going in, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it,
why don't I
Voldemort,
go-
we're going in. I got my gun out. It's action time. Make sure none of these things come up behind me and shoot me in the ass.
All right, I'll stack up behind Algar then.
Okay.
The wizard in the middle, where she can shed some light, doesn't have light prepped for today.
I have dancing lights.
well, the like, what use is light to a blind character?
Yeah. Okay, so what dancing lights, does that have a concentration component, or is it just you cast it, then you can move it as a move action?
There you go. I'll pull up the spell.
The ladder.
1 minute D, so it's a dismissible, not concentration.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I just have to recast it if needed.
Nice, and it looks like it doesn't take an action to you to actually move the lights too, so that's cool.
And some of us have, so I have dark vision and low light vision. Doesn't Gunther have at least low light? Dark vision.
And
Excellent.
it's not disrupted by light in Pathfinder. You still see in black and white.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have the lights like right behind me, just because I need to see if something sneaks up on me. But it acts as a torch, so it shouldn't blind the ones up front.
Okay.
I am going to cast a spell.
Because I'm blind in the dark.
Jamie, you might know this. Do you have to make a concentration check if you're casting a spell on your hands and knees?
I don't believe so. No, not unless there's like something violently shaking you, or if you're grappled or something.
Right.
Like that.
It'd only be a defensive roll to preemptively make a concentration check, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like
Cool.
if your mobility is limited by something, yeah, that'll happen too. So.
Okay. So you guys are you start your way down in. How much space are you allowing between each other? Like, are you sort of like right on each other's?
No, 5 feet for me from the nearest person.
Okay.
I like starting with an arm reach of 2 people that I'm next to.
I think I'm within arm reach of Gunther because I don't have dark vision, so it's kind of need to get somehow.
I'm
That's awesome that you went down in there without dark vision.
gonna haul the halberd and long spear behind me so that people in front can move around.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah,
All right.
Thank you.
So you guys make your way. You get down. I guess Gunther, you're the first one down. So I'm
Just
picturing.
crouching, gun out, eyes on the ready.
Okay.
Oh.
Now you could either do this on hands and knees, or you can kind of do like a crab walk to make your way down. Because it's
Hands and knees, probably.
hands and knees. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're down and making your way. Crawling along. This is incredibly uncomfortable because the surface here is as much scrap and whatever as what you had what the walls are like as well. So you can picture crawling across the worst part of a auto scrapyard. You get to the junction, you turn to your right, and you can see that hole where Algar says he fell down. And when you get to that junction, it's about like maybe 5 to 7 feet across, and it does seem to fill up the whole area. So you're going to have to somehow get your way across this. How do you want to do that?
Well, I've got my rope.
I have rope too if we need longer,
Okay.
or we might be able. I don't know if you could do it on hands and knees. I know with acrobatics we could maybe push the spear. Would the spear cross the hole and
It's a
be
long
able
spear,
to?
so it's long. It's like 8 feet long.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And with the halberd, depending on how long it is, we might be able to make a makeshift
So
bridge.
the difficulty of getting the spear
Yeah.
down there past the junction is
Yeah.
the size of the area. Like
Well, it's flexible a little bit.
you know what I'll do? Yeah, here's what I'm just going to leave it to chance. We'll say that roll a d6, 1 to 4. You're able to sort of flex it around the corner. Otherwise, you get to there and like, oh fuck, like it's moving the couch in and you didn't realize. Oh no.
Okay, well, I spent some time like pounding on the side of the tunnel until I can make a little edge wide enough to slip that thing through.
No, what that roll tells me is that you're not able to do that.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just not the angles just aren't going to work for that. Anyone have mending? You can
I'll be
break
back
it.
for you.
I have mending,
And just break it and then
but it
just
costs
fix
10
it.
minutes to cast.
How much
Damn it.
more?
I'm gonna
We've got
wait my heightened
time.
awareness.
It's a masterwork weapon. I don't want to break it.
Okay, well, barring that, can Gunther rig up his crossbow to shoot the rope across into something, and then we can anchor it on this side?
Do you have any crafting skills?
I have no crafting, but I really want to get across, so I'll spend a ferric fate point.
Okay.
I have a grappling hook on
Oh,
my
you know what I'll
rope.
do? Yeah. So if you're spending a point of ferric fate, what I think what we'll say is that knowing that this was going to be coming up, before you went in, while everyone else was kind of futzing around, you looked around and you found a piece of scrap. That's like, picture something the size of like an alternator.
Okay.
So a heavy piece of solid metal. You've worked your rope through that. So you've effectively made, it's not a grappling hook, but it's something that will propel the rope across. And if you drag it along, you get to a point where you're taking advantage of the uneven surface, and it gets secured in it to a certain point. So you've got a solid footing for the rope on the far side.
Okay, so
As they're all futzing around with rope, I'm just like, we couldn't have got a plank to go across, something that I can use.
I thought about that, but I was carrying weapons.
Yeah. I think the plank would have potentially run into the same problem that the
Yeah, it's not long enough.
spear would have.
keep looking. If you find one, slide it across. In the meantime, we got to do something.
Okay.
Well, then who's our strongest member? Is it Algar? I think it's probably Algar.
Well,
I think we might be tied. I
Kyrus
think
is-
Olgar
yeah.
and Kyrus are tied.
but he can rage and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I can.
So-
do I want
so
to get
Gunther-
angry at the soul?
He will, once he gets it secure, he'll use the rope to basically kind of swing down to the ledge and then pull himself up. And he'll use the heavy piece to throw it back to the other side. And anybody that has trouble climbing or with acrobatics, they can tie it around themselves and he can help pull them up
Sure.
as they swing over.
So you can picture that it's, we're not going to make rules for this at this point because I think you guys have made enough, taken enough steps to try and secure yourselves. But you can, for those of you who are more agile and more physically active, you guys have very little difficulty getting yourself up and over. And those who are less so, it's a little more humiliating being dragged up than really actually climbing your way up. I guess I'm really only talking about BP because everyone else be pretty active.
I think
she's got the look of someone who really doesn't like this. Like her arms are hanging like slack as she's being dragged up the wall. Like I hate everything about this.
I'm gonna bite the bullet here. Can I use my Spheric Fate point to make sure I get that long spear through?
To get the which long spear?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it does. You get to a point and you finally look over. You're like, God damn it! And you're about to rage, and you hit this thing, and then something falls out.
Yeah, I was thinking I could wrap it in some kind of cloth to give it some extra bend before it would snap, and just muscle it through.
Sure. So you've got your spear with you as well.
I don't
Okay.
want to leave that behind.
I was just hoping you earn another Ferric Fortune before the next junction.
Yeah.
Wait, is this my spear or is it Kyrus's? I thought it was mine.
I wanted to get both of the weapons through.
Oh.
The halberd and the spear. If that's possible. But the halberd isn't as long, so...
if you spent a point for it, that's fine. I'm fine with both of them getting through. Okay. So you get yourself to the far side. From here, it seems to continue. The passage continues down. Gunther, you're the one probably who can see the furthest. Is it 60-foot dark vision you've got?
Yeah, 60 foot.
60 foot. Okay. So yeah, you can easily see down. It sort of continues on at about a maybe a 30-degree angle before it hits a point, and then it seems to go fairly far down, like probably about 15 feet deep at a fairly steep angle. So you're probably going to have to, unless you want to risk, going ass over tea kettle, you might want to turn in kind of butt crawl down to the next sort of area.
Yeah, it looks like we may even need to use the rope here, so he'll find something to secure it with, or he'll pass it to who's the strong person, Algar.
Well, I'm taking up the back, and I'm pretty strong, so I can.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I've kind of half wedged the long spear into the ground and put the rope on that to brace it.
Okay. Why doesn't everyone give me a perception check as well, too, please? And Prophet, you can make a roll for this. This isn't a vision thing.
Oh, it's a vision thing.
Shit.
You can make this roll. It's not a vision thing.
Oh, cool. I have a +2 because of my heightened awareness.
Nice. So make sure you add. Yeah, you did. You have that modifier.
That was accidental double roll, so the first one.
No problem.
So mine should be 22. Heightened awareness is a buff from the spell I cast.
Were you prompted for the modifier?
No.
I was not either.
I have all my stuff filled in. It's just a matter that I would have to put in temp.
You know what?
You can enter it under miscellaneous, it looks like.
Yeah,
or so also on the character sheet on the third tab, configuration, it's got roles query modifier for, and then you can just check whichever one. Yeah. Yeah,
that's why I just went into BP's sheet and just clicked that. Okay, so Prophet and Kyrus and Gunther, what you guys hear is that same kind of, from somewhere in the scrap, there's this something is cackling, and BP, let me see, you cast your what do you call it, what's your other ability you've got, the one that
Death Watch?
Which one? Death Watch. Yeah. Now remember, we discussed that you're going to have to make sure you've used that. So I'm going to assume that you did tell me that you cast that before you went in, right?
I cast heightened awareness before I came in. It's a +2 to perception and all knowledge child X I'm trained in.
Right. That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is whether you cast the other one as well.
Well, when I hear something, yes.
Now you're going to cast it.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me a check, please. What does it look like as well when BP casts a spell?
Well, heightened awareness has a material component of a coffee bean, so she grinds up a coffee bean and puts it in her mouth because it's a perception and knowledge base. She's drinking coffee. That is what the spell is.
That's funny.
I've been casting
in terms of Death Watch. It only has somatic and verbal components, so she kind of mutters a bit under her breath, moves her hands, and then I think we've mentioned before, behind her eyes starts to glow a little bit, but she's wearing a blindfold, so you can't really see that.
Sure. So there's a very faint glow from behind her eyes. Would you click on that power too? I just want to quickly read what it does.
What, Death Watch?
Yes, please.
Pip. Spell-like ability.
Boom. Cool. Thanks.
Basically, is something alive? Yes, I can see it.
So there's nothing in there about line of sight, or did you? Because I thought we talked about this before. Is it able to see through walls at all, or not?
It can't see through walls. There's a bit in the forums about a lot of these detect spells that unless they say that they go through so much of stuff, it's literally just things that are within your technical line of sight. Which,
Okay.
as
So
I do not have one, it's basically walls would impede the line of the magic.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So that's all right. So I think what you see briefly, Prophet, is the faint, and it's in the same way that I'm picturing the way that you see this stuff is kind of like like the Predator stuff, where it's like one dark background with some another bright, more vibrant color where the life signs are.
My prior DM described it a bit like kind of like the Daredevil vision, where because I can hear my surroundings as well. Like basically, once something starts being alive, it kind of has like a faint outline as it moves around.
Sure, that's fine. So what you see briefly through kind of the scrap and whatever that makes up the wall, very briefly, is a fairly small life sign that then sort of seems to disappear and moves out of the sign of your vision, or the range of your sense. And that's around where you heard this as well too. So it's probably you heard this, you cast this thing, you kind of looked over, and you saw very briefly something very small with pointed kind of ears.
We're not alone. Like I just announced that flatly.
Okay. So you get to the bottom, Gunther. You're the one who's first down there, and I'm
Immediately lets go, draws his gun.
Okay, so you get your gun. This where you reach the landing, it goes for about maybe 5 feet more, and then it seems to open up into a much bigger chamber.
Big enough for me to use the halberd, perhaps?
Well, you have to get down there as well. You actually, yeah, you're next down. So you and Gunther push forward and
Gunther will announce that he hit the bottom. Made it to the bottom.
I'll pass the halberd since he's about to go down.
Okay. So you get in there, and Gunther, as you're the first one out. What you you walk into is a room that's about. I shouldn't say a room. It's a chamber that's about roughly 20 feet circular, and looking up, you can see there's, imagine like if someone had piled scrap in such a way that it's like Jenga style held in place and not going to collapse, but it looks like any sort of, that it could fall apart at any moment. Like a strong wind or a harsh glare could, make this whole thing come fucking piling down on top of you.
Right.
So it's about 20 foot, it'll be about 20 foot from wall to wall. And then it's the floor, or the surface is ever so slightly pitched away from where you are, and at the far side there's this stinking kind of pool of water takes up about a third of that side of the room.
Does it stink like fluid, Numerian fluid?
Do you want to get closer?
Not yet.
I see you played with me before.
He'll wait on everybody.
Yeah. So the smell. I mean, there probably is the smell of like fluids and water that has picked up every bit of grime and other substance that's like above you guys.
Yeah, he figures it's some kind of nasty mix of Numerian fluid and goodness knows what else. Probably gremlin poop at this point.
It's pretty big as well too. Like it's about 8 feet, I guess, of like from the corner right out to the edge. And so your dark vision, it casts, I think, with the light coming down, because of Algar needs light to be able to see. Oh, you know what? So where is the actual light source then?
It would have been right behind my head, but I can send it down the tunnel for him. It goes down like 100 feet.
Did you go with the full-sized humanoid version of dancing lights, or the 4 small lights?
Just little dancing little bowls. for now.
Because they can be within like 20 feet of each other and still be active and like spread all over the place.
Yeah.
I like playing with dancing lights on drow characters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just like tear them down the path a little bit just to light it up.
Sure. So then you're able to see Algar, and I think both Algar and Gunther, what you guys can see is that the surface of this reflects light the way that, that suggests hidden depths in here. This isn't like a thin puddle where the light reveals the surface or the thing underneath there, the whatever is under that. This is reflecting it as if it's a deeper pool.
Okay.
Can I approach it and like basically stab it with my halberd?
Sure.
See how far it
You
goes.
get there, you work your halberd up, you walk your way over, you get to the edge, and you kind of, so for part of the area, it seems to be, once you've tested things out, it seems to kind of go down. Like if it's as if at this corner here, the earth was hollowed out, and then there's a point where it seems to, like, you're able to go down right to the tip, like gondolier style, all the way down. Like, shit, there's actually a passage that continues under the water.
And I didn't hit any bottom or anything.
No. The other thing you guys can hear is the sound. Mange is much closer now, and it seems to be roughly in the direction that you're heading right now. And the barking has a quality to it that has like a tinny kind of quality, like as if when someone like shouts through a tube or something like that. There's that weird echoey quality that comes to it. That's what you get from this. It also explains why his bark has carried so fucking far, to outside the tavern, or outside of the hole. Vortimer, you're an experienced hunter, so you know what lures are like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of what where your head is going here. Like, they intentionally made it so that the sounds of Mange could be heard well far away from where he may actually be.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because there's nothing specifying the type of life for Death Watch, does the water have like microbes in it, any sort of bacterial life, so I could see it as
No.
well as it's entirely sterile?
No, I'm telling you that's not going to work that way.
Darn, just like tiny little flicks of light.
Nope.
So I think I'm gonna
That's what
start.
you want, is for you to constantly see germs in the air as well, which will effectively nullify your ability.
Well, they would always have less than 1 hit point, so they would always show up as very weak life signs. So it's just like a faint glow to the air within 30 feet of me.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna sort of pop a squat by the edge of the water and say, guys, there's something up. Mange obviously is not here and might be a whole lot further than we expected at first. We need to, figure out a game plan.
Would you?
Since my heightened awareness is still active, can I try to pick apart like anything individual?
Can you try and
Like pinpoint them through sound. I know that the sound's being stretched, but with heightened awareness.
A perception check, please. Does anyone else have dark vision 60 feet?
Yes.
You do. Okay, so our Vortimer and Gunther, would you guys give me perception checks as well, please?
Yeah, I'm coming up with a new game plan. It's called Get a New Dog.
Shit.
There's an adoption agency in Torch, right?
I have
But you're
plus 10
mysteriously
to
not the dog.
perception, and I've gotten a 12 and a 13.
Shit. All right, so
Wow.
BP, unfortunately, the prophet can't really. What you can tell is the general direction of the dog. So you can tell it's sort of, if you drew a line straight from like where you came out in this chamber to this puddle with the passage underwater directly forward, that's where the dog seems to be. And Vortimer and Arlen, Arlen, you're down there. How did this happen? Vortimer and Gunther, you guys are trying to, see through to where this is coming from, and you can hear the dog. It's as if he's in the next, the next room. He sounds fairly close, but I mean, he has sound fairly close outside of the hole as well.
So you question.
Yeah.
So are we on any ground at all, or we're just crawling through metal at this point? Because Gunther does have survival for tracking. So if there's any way he could, catch a patch of fur here or there, or see something that's been disturbed.
Yeah.
I have tracking also. So
So
I would like to help.
between the two of you guys, I won't require a thing to edit it, but I imagine that your characters being competent trackers and knowing that that's what they were doing when people were spilling out from that slope going down. You're like, look, just hold the fuck on. Let's take a look here. So who wants to aid another, and who wants to make the actual roll?
Gunther, I'll make the roll. You can assist
Okay.
me.
I would like to cast a spell, or no, use an ability. This one to aid.
Just because he's looking for the dog,
Yeah. So you guys get
+1.
Yeah, +1. So Vortimer, go ahead and give me a roll. You just need a DC 10.
A DC 10 survival roll.
Yes, please. Boom.
right.
Nice. So then the net benefits +3.
Oh,
Oh,
Holy shit. Wow, Gunther. All right. So although you're talking about another dog, clearly all your focus is on getting this getting him back.
Gunther needs to keep his real feelings of the fact that he really loved me.
That's more trouble than it's worth to go get him.
We have this montage of all these times of Gunther playing with the dog. Okay, so what Gunther, you get there and you're looking down. There is, I think, with a roll that good, you can see that there are a bunch of I think they're, give me 1 second here. I think it's tiny. Yes. All right. So there are between 7 and 8 sets of individual footprints. This is how good you are. You can see there's big judging on the slight size differences, but most of the footprint sizes are about the size of to be honest, like an infant. However, instead of a child, like a human or half-orc child, these feet are much longer, and they have nasty little claw prints that they're leaving behind as they're scampering around. Do you have training in knowledge nature?
At this point, he has no knowledge skills whatsoever, but he has friends with training, so he'll announce, spotted some tracks here. Weren't you, Vortimer, weren't you guys talking about gremlins or something last night? Take a look at this.
yeah.
I think
specifically
Jenkins is what we settled
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
have knowledge nature either.
I've got
Bardic knowledge. Oh, you got it last time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Some fucking awesome rolls on Bardic knowledge.
Yeah, I got approximate
Pretty
knowledge
high
of
bonus
everything.
just from raw int. I'll roll it.
No, you got to be trained to make
Darn.
the roll. So
Yeah, Kyrus is like, I got approximate knowledge of many things.
a little bit of you're Cliff Clavin. That reference may be too old for some of our players. Okay, so what are you guys going to do?
I look at when I scuttle down, I'm going to tie the rope somewhere up there and join them down in the pit. I'm going to look to see at the water level if it like just goes straight down, or is there like an arch that you can kind of look down, like bob your head under and not go completely submersed.
So you're going to try and stick your head down. So it's do you have dark vision?
I don't. I'll send some lights down in the tunnel, but
Sure. Okay.
because my character doesn't like enclosed spaces, and water underneath a cave is not something I like.
Yeah. No. Understandably. Why don't you give me a perception check? And this is not to just see shit. If there's some other details that you may be able to pick out,
Gotcha.
and let's figure out how many of those details. Oh yeah, great. Okay, so here's what you can see. Getting down and sort of like you do have to get fairly far underwater to get a good vantage for this. But when and I'm picturing you're sort of moving one or two of the motes of light further down the passage to sort of illuminate it. So it's got that. It's that James Cameron thing where like the light's going along and it's casting light along this uneven tunnel as you're going down. Couple things you pick up. One is that this passage seems to only go for about 15 feet. So, and it does seem to be about the same size.
We'll go up.
Through. It's straight through, and you can see the light from the way the light is being reflected. It goes along for 15 feet, and then suddenly your light is disappearing off, which you're taking to mean that there's an opening about 15 feet down. The other thing you pick up, though, because you're, knowing that, I think that Arlen took a tumble, not Arlen, that Algar took a tumble. I keep wanting to insert you into this, Arlen. Sorry. That Algar took a tumble down that trap, so you're canny to keep an eye out for this stuff. There are jagged bits of metal that are set up along the ground in this. So or not the ground, but like the surface. So it's whatever created this area, it wanted someone to go through and tear themselves. They're not basically picture like, drywall nails. That's about the size of what these things would be. It's little jagged things that they're not going to kill you, but they would tear the shit out of you crawling through there.
Oh, that's not fun at all.
No. So
I go. The walls are lined with like jagged bits of metal. 15 feet or so, and then it opens up.
Gunther, would you kindly give me another perception roll? Your survival roll was so good. I'm going to see if you can see something else.
Okay.
Please don't let the ceiling collapse.
And then you all die. I'm so glad you guys play this campaign.
Dark small, you all die.
It's a little better.
Okay. So you're looking around and you're trying to make sense of where, here's what you do know from your awesome survival roll is that the feet are kind of going around, or the tracks at least suggest that these things were moving around and, assembling this kind of thing. And what you were looking for, the reason I wanted you to make a perception roll is to see if you could figure out where they went. Did they go into the water? Did they find some other way out here? And unfortunately, because they're sort of doubling back on each other, you're not able to make sense of where they may have gone. They were here. They've been. The numbers or the rough range of numbers of these things, but you don't know where the hell they actually went.
Are they still here?
That's a good question.
I'm liking this less and less. There's gremlins involved. I'm starting to feel like a rat in a trap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get paranoid and start looking around in the shadows.
Okay. Why don't you give me... Yeah, I'll let you guys give me another perception check here. Let's see.
A lot of us?
Please, yeah. Anyone who's going to take the time to look around, you guys go ahead.
Can I make an engineering check to see if there's any sort of possible trap to I don't know if there's any sort of weak point where a gremlin could easily pull it and cause a cave.
That was a nat 20.
Nat 20, nice. All right.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah,
that's my engineering check. If you said I could do that.
I was going to ask for engineering to see if there was any way to dismantle the sharp tunnel easily.
Oh.
If you got mage hand, you might be able to pluck the...
You assume I have mage hand.
there's my perception.
I didn't take that one.
Oof. Okay, so let's go through these in order. So first off, Kyrus and... Oh, hold on. So were there double rolls for perception, or these...
For Algar? No, one's in the engineering perception.
Yeah, one's the engineering. So
and Gunther, one was the earlier perception for where the Jenkins went.
Okay, got it. Okay, so then Gunther, you can hear and locate at least one of these things. And basically there is, hearing them skitter around, the sound of a raccoon in a duct or something like that, or a squirrel that's caught in the attic. Mm-hmm. That's the sound of things are moving around. And Gunther, because of the nat 20 on that, I'm going to let you make an attack roll if you want. There's a clear shot at one of these things. And let me see if I actually thought, I did load it. Hell yes. This is what you can see looking down at you.
He's an ugly son of a bitch.
Oh.
Wow.
Who fed their mogwai after midnight?
Yeah. It's the most gremlin of gremlins, the Jinkin.
Gunther will quickly, he points in the direction of it, and then he takes a shot with his pistol,
And
which
this
I
is-
don't have loaded in this, so I'm gonna have to roll
Oh,
it.
it's gonna be loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I flinch and like cover my ears, and that's why I got a perception of 9 because Gunther shot
yeah.
a gun in a small tunnel.
Yeah, he takes some joy in everybody jumping from the report.
What did I tell you about tinnitus, Gunther? What did I tell you?
All right.
I don't know how to add a modifier just to a straight.
It
roll
should prompt you.
on-
Let me take a look at your character sheet. It should prompt you for. Let's see here. For the modifier.
I actually don't have the gun attacks loaded in. Gunslinger was not an option for
Oh, okay. I can
class on this.
I can help you with that between now and the next session. Let's see here. Where are you? Who am I looking up? Gunther. All right.
So he has a +5 modifier to that roll, so that should be a 20.
even with the cover that this thing's going to have from all the things, that
And
is
that's versus touch AC with the gunslinger.
Only if it's in the first range increment.
Well,
Gunther has a revolver, which is an advanced weapon, and it's up to 5 range increments.
yeah, and this is a 20-foot room,
Yeah.
so it's going to be within his
Oh.
range. All right, so that is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage for me, please.
All right. First shot, first hit.
Kablamicus.
I definitely didn't want it to be first shot, first miss. That's just a straight D8.
That goes to Vortimer.
Points.
yeah, I think Vortimer, as he hears the shot, has just a flash in his mind of, "Aw, somebody else gets to hit him."
So, and I think that this is sort of based on everyone else's rolls. It's sort of a shock that suddenly, like, the gun's out and blam, he fires. You're certain you hit this thing, Vortimer, and with a nat 20 perception, you can see you can see it moves off, and for some, like, that should have really fucked that thing up, but it seems to have scampered off, cursing, and you guys can all hear now. There's a bunch of voices, all kind of like. Does anyone speak Undercommon?
Don't think so. Let me look.
I don't think so.
Sadly, no. Common, Abyssal, Draconic, Goblin, Orc, Infernal, and with my 1 linguistics, and considering the fact that I've been working with Connor, and Droffin.
Okay.
I speak the common tongues, Hallett, Orc, and Common.
Okay.
Same here.
So yeah, so you so you guys can hear it. It's a language you don't understand. It is a guttural and ugly, grunting kind of tongue, but there's a lot of them around.
Are we do we have enough room that if I draw my sword, I could swing it, or should I pull out my dagger instead?
It's a 20-foot, yeah. Like the ceiling itself, at the apex of the rough dome that makes up this room, it's about 10 feet up. So in here, you're able to, like, if you're right near the edges, you may have difficulties swinging like the halberd and the spear freely. But yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna draw my sword and just kind of clench it in both hands.
I think is my halberd 10 feet long? I'm trying to remember.
So
I should write that
reach,
down.
It's reach, right?
It's reach, yeah.
They're typically about 7 to 8 feet, if not more.
So all right.
But it does give you extra 5 feet of reach, so you can reach 10 feet.
Yeah, so I guess if I'm standing, I could use my halberd. I'm gonna prod. I didn't see much of anything, but I'll prod in the direction that I thought that.
Guys, halberd doesn't have reach.
Does it?
Oh,
A braid
That's correct.
doesn't have reach. A Gasarm has.
Oh, he might have mixed up the weapons.
oh, that's right. Because I was looking at other ones before.
No, it does. PF2 it has reach, and I think in 5e it has reach as well.
That's probably that might have been thinking about that as well.
If what you intended is to have a reach weapon, though, I'm fine with you switching it to whatever reach weapon you want.
Yeah, Goose Army or something.
Yeah,
Because we could use some non-reach melee characters, all things considered, because the second I think it's within 5 feet of us, none of us have anything to do.
I'll stick with the halberd for now.
I'll shank him with my dagger.
I've got a spot gauntlet in the club, so I'm also.
Yeah, that's true. I got.
Gunther
The blind
relay.
prophet didn't buy weapons.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? There's the sound of these things, but you can't really You're not able to make out what they are. Now, Algar, you made a engineering check. What was that for?
It was. I was trying to figure out if there was some sort of thing they had where they could easily collapse this tunnel, but that's.
I think you. So with a roll that good?
No, I got
think
a 5.
definitely.
I got a crap roll.
That's I'm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sarcasm.
Oh.
So
sorry.
you're like, holy fuck, this could come down at any point.
I was also looking to see if at least the sharp tunnel could be easily dismantled, but I didn't roll the engineering just because.
Yeah, and I don't. You don't have vision, so I don't know how you would be able to like. If you can tell me how you think you'd be able to determine that, it's not living things. So how do you think you would see that?
Generally, touching it, like using my sense of feel, so like pressing the wall, seeing if there's any sort of like weak structural bits,
So-
maybe trying to take a blade as carefully as possible, and like giving it a wiggle, seeing how well it's in there.
Alright.
Different.
Here's the
going
thing.
with touch.
If you're going underwater and you're going to be like literally blindly reaching out to try and touch those things, you're
Oh, this is underwater. I thought it was a different tunnel.
Oh,
no,
It's underwater.
yeah.
We're gonna have to Beowulf it.
Yeah, I can't swim.
it's not that deep.
Well, maybe so. If we're gonna go, maybe Prophet can hold her breath while somebody else pushes her along or something. I guess we need to decide if we're gonna go or if we've had enough of this.
I don't.
Aren't there things currently with us though?
Well,
Should we be
there's
focused on those?
things in here, but we can't see them because they keep popping around in and out of the.
So these things are not they're not phasing through the wall. They're not.
Yeah.
There are passages that are. I mean, for lack of a better term, they're passages, but there are gaps that these things are scrambling their way
Yeah.
through around you guys.
And they're
That's what I was
small,
imagining.
so.
But yes.
Well, no, these
Small-
things are. I mean, they are about 1 foot tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these things, it would definitely, if these things are able to move comfortably through those areas, it would be a fuck of a squeeze. But it's something you could maybe wedge. All you guys are medium size, so you could wedge yourself through one of these if you were able to access it somehow.
Gunther, you shot one, or shot something.
I think.
Yep,
it's
nailed the
off.
little bugger, but he ran off.
Well then,
Think they're
if it's
squeezing through
bleeding, we
these.
might be able to follow to wherever the hell it goes to hide.
Yep, my thoughts exactly.
That's an interesting idea. Why don't you guys give me another perception check?
Can we do survival for tracking the blood?
Not this time.
Tracking the blood. That's assuming there is any blood.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, do I smell blood?
Well, gunpowder.
Finally.
Nice. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so both Gunther and Vortimer, what you guys can tell is from the sound of their little, clawed feet skittering along the scrap that makes up the structure around here. You can hear them sort of like, scampering around, and then there's at least 2 different ways that they've gone scrambling in the direction of where Mange is.
Hmm.
Yeah, I vote for the not underwater squeeze.
And I think as well, having heard the gunshot, that's a comforting sound to Mange. That's something with the way Gunther has been practicing and whatever else. The dog is starting to like, it knows that Gunther is close now. And I think with perceptions that good, this is not the echoing sound. It's Mange is right over there. Like he's 15 feet, through that nail-filled passage.
Okay.
That's where he is.
Well, Gunther is definitely, he wants to help the dogs. I mean, unless everybody thinks we should go down the hole. I mean, that's his goal.
You also checked, Gunther, you mentioned that you were going to look for blood. There's no blood you can see.
Hmm.
You're certain you hit that thing, but there doesn't appear to be any blood.
Yeah, I make a comment that unless you're shooting cold iron pellets, I don't think it's going to hurt them too much.
I'd forgotten about that. Better read up on it in the next Pathfinder Chronicles.
You probably, maybe you remember something about, because I think,
he has no knowledges now, but he'll add them
Sure.
as we go on. The
Is-
idea being he reads about everything in the Pathfinder Chronicles.
Yeah.
Is there any way I could do an engineering check to see if I can make these this little narrow passageway traversables with these nails don't get us all? Or okay.
Yeah. So, assuming that Kyrus left, so those things going down, you put your head underwater too and take a look. Go ahead and give me an engineering check.
Yeah. Oh.
Let's see here.
Come on. Oh, better.
Ooh. Yeah. So I think that there is. You know what actually might work is that chunk of metal that you've been using as the de facto kind of grappling hook. If you toss that down there and then yanked it, you may be able to bend those barbs back at least to blunt them, so they wouldn't be there. It would take we'll say it would take like 10-15 minutes to do this stuff, but that's heavy enough to be able to project it through the water and then pull it back. At 15 feet, none of you guys, unless you get trapped down there somehow, you're not going to suffocate because, swim is what? Is it a quarter your speed or is it half your speed?
It's half your speed with a successful swim check.
Half speed with a successful swim check. And you can hold your breath. It's your constitution score, right?
Times 2.
Times 2. Right? Yes. Like none of you guys will suffocate down there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, Prophet. What's your?
As a player, I know that, but as a character, I don't know that.
Yeah. No, but you would know what your. You know what? And you guys probably.
Well, we don't know how far it is past these things, so we can see that it goes.
15 feet.
Yeah, Kyrus could see that
it opens back up. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, then, yeah.
I'm just worried about it collapsing on me.
Oh, yes, that's
as a character. That's my concern.
Okay.
Can I engineer if this place is even capable of collapsing from something like that?
Well, you can't see. So, do you have training in knowledge engineering?
Yes, a crap ton of it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make a check. You can ask maybe someone, you'll have to ask someone to just sort of describe the place for you. So I'm going to impose it's going to be a higher difficulty. So from what you can gather, I mean, Algar's
tapping my foot against the floor, like echoes, different things like that, things that might suggest that it's not just things in a wall.
No, I mean, like you're blind, so you know, and you're not
Daredevil.
So, but what you're able to discern from, Algar immediately is like, holy shit, this whole place could come down at any time, and you're like, just wait. What do you see there? And he describes it. It doesn't sound like if this place was going to collapse, it would have. This is not like, pull one pin out and have it all come collapsing down. Unless they work some phenomenally powerful magic, in which case you've got way bigger problems than just the ceiling collapsing in.
I was going to say, I cast Detect Magic just to be sure.
Sure, yeah. So there's no magic in the immediate area. The passageway has no magic in it.
Aside from my lights, of course, but
let me think here.
We're fine.
Yeah. So
for the record, Algar is like doing that annoying thing where he's like pretending that like that's what he meant all along, and that he's just like, you're just confirming what his suspicions were rather than like you just completely contradicted him.
I roll sense motive.
Yeah. Algar's
Okay.
making me more nervous now.
Okay. So
hold on.
Assuming you guys have blunted the
I don't have deception, so
you blunted the barbs enough to make it navigable to get through the water or the passage safely. Before we dungeon, we're an hour and a half into the session right now. Why don't we take our 5-minute bio break right now? Okay.
And you said that that particular task is going to take us 15 minutes.
Probably, yeah.
There you go. All right.
Just because if it takes 15 minutes, my spells expire.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-up my spells too, but no. Well, just the dancing lights.
I can't up heightened awareness again because it's actually a level 1 spell.
Uh-oh.
It's a good level 1 spell, but
yeah.
Yeah, like +2 to perception and any of the knowledges that I'm trained in, and then if we get into combat before it expires, +4 to initiative.
That's pretty good. Only good spell I have is Grease.
I've got a bunch of good spells, but I'm also a wizard.
I'm actually looking forward to level 3. Because do you know that spell, Path of Glory?
Path of Glory, not off the top of my head.
It's a spell. a second level spell. Well, I won't get that until 4th level, but it lasts a round per level, and every round you get a 10-foot square of like light that you can expand as a swift action for 10 more, up to 2 squares per level.
Mm-hmm.
That anybody that ends their turn in the square heals 1 hit point. That's okay, right? But
it's not that bad.
Yeah, but it's the Blood Rager power, the Skull Rage power I intend to take first is Lesser Celestial Totem, which increases the amount of healing you receive from any healing spell by my level. So you guys will start healing 5 hit points immediately.
That is a good combination.
So I'm actually...
does it specify healing spell? Because it may specify the healing substance.
It's Conjuration Healing. So it works. So it's going to be great.
I was going to say, I'm looking forward to... what was the level 3? Or level 3, I'll get 2nd level spells. And I have like an Excel spreadsheet of like all the spells that I want to buy or get over the course of things. Because I can just buy new spells.
Yeah, I'm intending my character. Once we hit level 5, we won't need a cleric at all.
Nice.
Level 3, Anticipate Thoughts. It is a defensive divination spell where you pick a target and you see their attacks coming, so you get a massive AC boost against them.
It's probably one of those 1 round per level spells, right?
No, I think it's like a minute per level. But again, it's single target and they can save against it.
Well, it's you're a wizard, so you need the AC.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah, that came to my head too.
I also was just browsing spells and I found Bone Fists, and it just sounds like such a silly spell. Like, what are you doing? My fists grow bone claws.
So last night we actually played kind of late in our Strange Aeons game. Game wrapped up at like 12:30, so I'm like on 5 hours of sleep. But I play a shaman in that game, and I just came across the 3rd level spell Hag's Seasoning. It's a curse, no saving throw, permanent. You make the target supernaturally delicious. So anything that bites it or eats a portion of it gets like temporary hit points once per day. And any animalistic monsters prefer to go after that target. And we're in a city that's half knoll. I'm like, those are animalistic monsters. This is going to be fun. So I'm just itching to wait. Like, somebody make me mad, I'm going to curse you. The only thing that resists is spell resistance. I'm like, it doesn't really do anything, but...
Have any of you guys picked up the first adventure for the new adventure path?
Is that the one with the Lich coming back?
Tyrant's Grasp, yeah.
Yeah, my other person was talking about running it as soon as we finish Hell's Rebels.
Yeah, it's so Arlen. The reason I bring it up is because it has a distinctly Clark Ashton Smith vibe to it.
Survival horror, and I'm like,
it's really fucking cool. Like it's got a horror, like a gothic horror kind of vibe to it, but it's got this trippy, psychopomp kind of afterlife place. Like it feels like a cross between Ravenloft and Planescape with distinctly Gaiman-esque kind of qualities to it, and that weird otherworldly feel of like Clark Ashton Smith books. So
nice.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. All right, so I think everyone's back now. So we find ourselves in an underground dome under a scrapyard in search of a junkyard dog. What are you guys going to do?
I do not volunteer to go down first.
Well, since it takes 15 minutes to blunt stuff, my cool bonuses from heightened awareness are gone, and I am sad.
Oh, shit. So you're tapping your foot aggressively. Hurry up, hurry up.
As a strategizing thing, Gunther, you're probably going to have trouble if your powder gets wet, right?
You have a powder horn, right, Gunther?
Of course I do. I've even got a waterproof sack here.
Okay, that's good.
Things around.
I was just worried we might be losing out on your special skills.
Shield Marshal's got to be prepared, as does
I have a masterwork backpack. Are they considered watertight?
I don't think so.
Unless it says otherwise, no.
Let me check what I got.
Well, you're in luck. I got one extra.
Oh,
he actually does have 2 waterproof sacks.
Nice.
Excellent.
I don't have anything that would have a problem going in water. So
yeah, the only 2 things, I have a spell book, which I did bring with me because I'm just that kind of a weird wizard. and a spell component pouch, which may or may not have some stuff that wouldn't want to get wet. I don't think there's any rules specifically saying that it shouldn't, but for logistics' sake, probably should.
Yeah.
Would I have trouble bringing my halberd down that hole, or
No, there's no junction to get past. You just plunge it down and go straight across, and at least from what Kyrus could see, it seemed to go out in a similar way that this one did.
Okay. Somebody's willing to give me a light source, I'll go down first.
I can send my lights down there. It's just I can't send them past it because I can't see it. I'd recommend one of the dark vision people do that.
Yeah, how about I follow behind Algar and I can take over once we get to the edge of the light.
Yeah. I look at Vortimer. I'm
Are
like,
you waterproof?
how stealthy are you?
I can be stealthy. You have to be stealthy
gotta
on
be
the
that-
hunt.
Yeah, you got to be that whole like look above the water.
Oh yeah, no, full on like towards the end of Apocalypse Now, just slide up out of the water.
That's
And
awesome.
I'll tie a rope to Vortimer, or so when he gets over there, he can tug on it to let us know it's clear. And we'll send the wizard after him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I should go second, considering I have the amazing ability that even if I fail a perception roll to notice a foe, I still act in a surprise round.
Yeah.
So who's going through? Only one of you can go through at a time.
Vortimer is going through.
Okay. So you lower yourself down into the water, deep breath, and Vortimer, you can see your dark vision is 60.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so you plunge down, and I'm not going to worry about swim checks because you're going to be able to get to the other side eventually. You swim a lot down. Would you kind of give me a stealth check? Let's see how sneaky you are.
Rule of cool, game. Rule of cool. Obey.
Stealth. No modifier. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Holy shit!
Nice.
All right.
Nothing
So what happens
sees you.
is you go through?
we lost. Wait, where's Vortimer?
Yeah, he's completely invisible.
Where's Vortimer?
So you plunge underwater. You swim through the 15-foot passage, hurrying yourself along by kind of grabbing the safe handholds where the barbs are not. You get to the end, and then again, like it is like the scene from Apocalypse Now, where you just come above water, and you're able to draw in the room. So there's a couple things that, or a few things that you notice here. For one, this room chamber seems a little similar to what the last one was. It's a little larger. It's a rough kind of circular shape. And what you can see is on the size of the room is about 40 feet roughly in diameter. And on the far side, there is a bit of a crude structure or altar. It's got like a rough base to it, and then on standing up from there is a crudely assembled claw, just like the one that you saw on the top of the lintel when you were making your way down in here. Secured around the edge there is in kind of like a cage is Mange, who's kind of barking like crazy. But with a roll that fucking good, you still have enough time. You hear this sound of like, I don't know, shuffling. It's a mixture between like shuffling leaves and twisting leather. It's kind of like creaking, shuffling, and you look up, and I don't know if I actually did I load and hand out. Dang it, did not. But what you see above you, I think I can show you. I loaded in here. I did. I can show you a picture. Nice. Is something that looks like this. It's a sack, basically, of and those big orange sacks are kind of like going in and out, pulsing. There's the writhing tendrils above that, and dripping down, there are these two big, tentacles that seem to like they could easily skirt the ground. However, these things are not moving freely in this room. They've been seemingly like secured to the ceiling somehow, and they're, in the same way that, or similar way to what mange has been secured. These things are only able to go to a certain distance, so it's about half of the room is their range, the distance they can range over it, and one of them seems to be missing one of the tendrils as well.
Mange got it.
Now, let me see here. What knowledges are you trained in?
I am trained in knowledge local, knowledge geography, and knowledge dungeoneering.
Okay.
And I should probably take knowledge nature next time, but it's not a class skill for some reason, even though I hunt stuff.
Right.
But that's all right.
But you hunt the most dangerous prey of all.
Yes.
Robot.
Yeah, robots. Oh man. Okay. I'm looking at the wrong skill. Sorry. You know what I'll let you do? It's going to be a harder difficulty for this, but give me a knowledge local check, please.
All right.
Yeah. So you're what the fuck are these things? Is really your reaction. They do not seem to have detected you.
Okay. Can we do like a one tug, two tugs pull system on the ropes to signal who to come next?
I was figuring the wizard would go next, but
I want Algar to come next.
Well,
I don't
really have
think,
a way to communicate
unless you're
that.
spending a point of Ferris Fate. You guys didn't discuss that before.
No,
You could
it's
edit the
like
scene
that.
to.
I will spend a point of Ferris Fate so that we planned it out so that I can
Okay.
get Algar to come next.
All right. I'm down there.
Okay, so Algar, give me a
A
stealth
stealth
check,
check?
please.
Okay.
Yeah. See how sneaky you are.
That's things are not looking good. Okay,
come on,
let's see.
dice gods. Come on, dice gods.
Come on. All right, back there.
There we go.
Still,
After those climb checks and stuff, I think you're due it.
He's got a well. Oh, never mind.
All right.
Bad.
Yeah,
Oh, is he
So
-3 stealth?
yeah, or -1. No, because I took what did I do here? Oh, I took it. Well, hold on. Stealth, yeah, I don't know. I got a 1 + 0, and then it's -3. So yeah.
Probably
What's your
armor
arm?
check penalty. Yeah, armor
Yeah.
check.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, armor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you sort of you make your way through, and there's a moment where you think you're getting hung up under the water, and you kind of like, and panic. So when you do come out the other side, you kind of gasp, and at that there's this Vortimer. Because you've got dark vision, you could probably see this.
Right.
There's this like powder that seems to drift out from these things, and I need first off, what is your Vortimer? What are you as an android? What is it you're immune to?
Let me see if I wrote it down here or
Poisons, diseases, aging
poison,
effects.
diseases, fatigue.
Okay.
Yeah, but he can't feel emotions, so
Yeah, I also can't feel emotions.
Oh, okay, excellent. All right, so then you can feel these things drift over you. Then it's just Algar I'm concerned with. Algar, give me a fortitude save, please. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's probably useful.
You suddenly, as you get up, you can feel your heart rate is pounding faster, as if like why am I feeling this way? And Vortimer, you probably having seen this stuff come down, whatever this spore shit is, if you guys put it 2 and 2 together, you would guess that had you been a more easily startled person, you may have gone into a full-on panic here, Algar.
Ooh.
And Algar can't see anything right now.
No, that's right. It's
Yeah. So,
well, probably the only thing you could see was a little light from under the water that I could get as far as I could.
Yeah. So he can. You're there, and otherwise it's just pitch blackness from where the moat of dancing light is going to be.
I should probably go next.
What you can tell as well, Vortimer, these things, like from where you are, those tendrils cannot reach you. As soon as you get out of the water, it's probably going to be able to reach you.
Okay, then I'm gonna tug for Kairos or Gunther, whichever one of you wants to come next.
I can go. They'll need the light. So.
Well, I have a nanite surge ability, so I can create 1 round of equivalent to torchlight as our opener. If we want Gunther to come in, he's got dark vision, but I can create a round's worth of torchlight for Algar to hit something.
Yeah, send Gunther then.
Guys, a dim light causes partial concealment, right?
Yeah, the dim lighting, it does.
Okay,
You
so
can't
yeah,
actually see.
20%. Yeah.
So the way I'm gonna just the way I'm gonna do concealment is we'll roll concealment first, and then you'll make your attack roll because, like, just psychologically, it seems so shitty.
Taking it away is so bad.
Yeah, so roll an attack and then hit, and then be like, "Oh, you missed."
Yeah,
Oh, it is fun though.
concealment can ruin a natural 20. So
Exactly. Yeah. So like, we'll just roll that first. That'll save us having to make a second roll. Okay. So who's coming through next then?
send Gunther.
Gunther's fine with going next.
Okay. So Gunther, you come up and you see exactly what I have.
Yeah, so he puts his pistol away just to clarify, make sure everything's in the waterproof sack. But he does load his crossbow and have it at the ready, so he can come up
Okay,
with
cool.
something.
Does Gunther have any training in knowledge local?
No knowledge at all right now.
No knowledge local. No. Okay, cool. So then, yeah. So you come out and you look up and same reaction, like, what the fuck? Would you kindly give me a fortitude save? Here it comes. Big roll.
That doesn't look right. Yeah. Let's see, I've only got a 1 in here, so we'll modify it up to the proper roll.
Okay.
Not bad.
All right. So you get out, and again, like, you can feel like your heart rate is pounding for some, like, and it sort of escalates as soon as you get out, and you're looking around like, what the hell? But there's otherwise no adverse reaction. So we got 3 of you guys.
Is this caused by inhaling these spores?
I'm not. You've got no. Do you have any training in knowledge nature?
I don't think so.
You
No.
probably need that or heal in order to figure that out.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're feeling weird. It doesn't feel natural. And having Vortimer, once there's light on this other side, like if either if the dancing light moves up, a hair, you could see them sort of drifting in the air, kind of like, house dust in a sunbeam kind of thing. But I'm not sure you would be able to tell whether it's because it's touched your skin because you inhaled it or what.
Would it be possible? Because what I'm thinking is, if it is inhalation, I could possibly go back and tell people to cover their mouths.
Okay.
And nose, if that's
Probably a good idea.
that'd be a bad idea. So yeah, I'll go back down, swim up through the hole, and let them know.
Okay.
Yeah, they should do
So then, Prophet and Kairos, you guys know what to expect on the far side.
We're
What do you
playing
guys
Go
want?
Fish while we're waiting everyone getting through this stuff.
it. Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to probably take up the last bit because we don't want the wizard getting ambushed while
Yeah.
not. So
Yeah.
I'll go in immediately after.
So,
And then as soon as I can see, I'll throw light up through the hole.
explain to me how you're going to cover your face, because I don't think you can use a piece of cloth or something like that, because you would effectively be waterboarding yourself.
Uh-huh.
Right? So,
I'm just going to keep holding my breath as long as I can.
okay, cool.
Can
Yes,
they just hold their breath or even stay underwater until we start?
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who's next then? It'll either be Kairos or Prophet.
So send the wizard in.
Hooray!
Prophet, you come up.
There's a rope you can follow to pull yourself through. You don't got to worry.
Would you kindly give me a fortitude save, please?
Oh, okay, I'm dead.
Oh, so that didn't work. All right, nice shot.
Oh shit, our wizard's gonna go crazy and
Nope.
oh no!
Oh, nice.
Nope, I live.
Been prepared and no doubt partially helpful, because you're covering your face, however you're choosing to do that. You feel the same thing that I've described for the others, where like there's just there's a level of anxiety that overwhelms you that you're fortunately able to keep under control. Last one, Kairos.
Okay, I look around, make sure there's no Jenkins there, and I kind of like drop down backwards with my spear pointed upwards, and I start kicking backwards towards the back end of the tunnel. And as soon as I can see everybody else, I throw a light directly up.
Okay.
And I stay down until it's clear for me to go up. So.
Okay. And would you kindly give me a fortitude save?
Oh, I'm still holding my breath, but because I'm still under the water.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be a point though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Holding your breath is not gonna really make a difference for this particular spore.
I have no idea what it is.
Awesome.
Hey, not bad.
Nice. So none of you guys are affected by this. You're all sort of on that side. And now that there's light in there, I think you guys can see these. One of them has 2 tendrils. One of them has one. Trying to reach down and grab at you. They seem to be sort of like the way that they're drifting is sort of, imagine like a balloon being tugged on the edge of a rope. It seems boom, hits, and then boom, hits. Okay, so
Death Watch just so I can actually see what's going on in here.
Sure, and yeah, they would be within the range, and these things are more. They have more than 4 hit points.
Could I roll a knowledge nature in advance to see if I can shout out what these things are?
Sure.
As soon as I get out. Okay. So approximate knowledge of nature. No, I don't.
That's
What the hell are these things?
Guys, these are frost giants. I know they don't look like them, but believe me.
I don't even have eyes, and I look at him with like one of those looks of like, really?
So let me think. Here, what do I think would be the consequence of a nat 1 on a knowledge check?
He does something stupid like poke them with a stick and they explode because we don't know anything about them.
I'm going to poke them with a stick. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I think that I'm trying to think. It would likely be misinformation of some kind.
Yeah,
but
like vampires are definitely weak to cold.
Yeah, exactly. The vampires absolutely hate ice cream.
Tell me something blatantly wrong about them.
Yeah, you know what I think I'm going to do? Rather than just giving you misinformation about it. Oh no, here's what you think. Okay, you know what you know?
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely certain of this. You know those pulsing, those orange sacs that are underneath their twisting, writhing tendrils there? Those things are explosive.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Yeah, so.
Well, I'll tell them as soon as I break water and see them. So. You guys have a round before I screw things up.
Don't hit the sacks, they blow up! Okay. And now that you guys are all down here, if any of you have, I think he could probably smell you guys. Mange is going really crazy right now.
Good for Mange.
What are you guys
Can I try to take a sword swipe at one of the tendrils, not at the main body, but since we heard,
I like to do the same thing.
So, basically, if what you're going to do is get yourself in range to try and do that, they will get an attack on you. They have reach. You do not. So mechanically,
I can use acrobatics to move through threatened squares, can't I?
Yeah. So you try and
Okay.
get a close enough range to be able to tag these things?
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
So why don't you now? I'm going to give you a -2 for it because you're effectively moving. You're moving from the water, right?
Yeah.
And like anyone who's come out of the surf before has seen that awful, clumsy, like thing. So you're going to take a -2 for it, but otherwise, go ahead, give me acrobatics. What's the DC of that? Is that?
It's equal to the CMD, I believe.
Oh,
It's
hell
right.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a 26. Yeah, that's for fucking sure good enough. Okay, so what's the cool description of you kind of deking and
Well, instead of coming out of the water with that love, look, I'm coming out of the water looking like a woman in a James Bond movie, just sort of slide up out and kind of almost eerily kind of leaning just to one side and the other, kind of swaying out of the way of the tendrils and, sword coming out and gonna swipe at it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So then would you it's a CMD. That's what the defense or DC is. All right, so yeah, you're easily able to go to the way of this. Are you going for the one that has 1 tendril or 2 tendrils?
Go for the weak one.
I'm gonna go for the one that only has 1 tendril.
Nice.
for my
Low
swipe.
hanging fruit.
And I'm going to, before I swipe, I'm going to do my nanite surge. So you can see he's got, it looks like kind of angular tattoos running from about sort of where his hairline would begin. He's hairless, so back down his head and then over his chest, but you can't see that so much because he's got his tunic on. All of that blazes with life like a torch, and I'm going to get +4 to my attack roll.
Amazing. Here we go. Go ahead and make your attack. Woo! Nice. All right. So, yeah, you deke and duck your way in and sweep your longsword up, and you cut a vicious gash along the underside. Kyrus, you see them do this. You're like, whoa! Because you got so close to that sack. Why don't we do this, guys? Let's just roll initiative for the sake of setting. So you have to click on your token. So you've got your token selected. Then click the initiative button in the top left on the first tab of your character sheet, and that will.
Shit! I have +6 initiative, and I got a 7.
So good.
I have a really high initiative for a wizard, and it's hilarious. And it will only continue to go up.
So I didn't follow directions.
Who didn't follow directions?
I didn't. I got a 5, but it didn't load to the.
Okay. No, well, that means you don't get to act.
Well, I'm going to go last anyway because I got to have a clear hole to get out of. So.
Sure. Let me just hear. Add turn. What did you roll?
A 5.
This is looking like old D&D where we use D10s for initiative.
Well, we
Come on,
got
dude.
over good rolls already. I mean,
Let me go for.
Yeah, this is
really?
those saving throws. I know nobody has them.
I go
So
last
blind
anyway.
wizard.
I always go first. I do act in a surprise round after all.
Yeah, you always were the fast one.
Okay, 9, 11. Okay, so these things have. Oh fuck! I don't have a token for them.
A million, but it
More
might
than
as well
that.
be a million
Wow.
compared to us.
Oh, actually, no, I can do this.
So you have 1.
Boom. There we go. Look at those little lovely things. Yeah.
Ugly as sin.
Okay. And they got an 11. Set it in descending order. Boom. All right. So that was. I'm just going to skip down to Vortimer's turn. All right. So Vortimer. Kyrus, did you roll? You rolled a 5, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what did you want to do?
Well, I'm waiting for it to clear up there, but I'm gonna start underwater, going boom, 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 boom,
Okay.
boom, inspire rage.
Okay.
If
Nice.
anybody wants to get the buff, it's on my character sheet, but I can post it for you guys so you can use it easily.
Those of us who don't feel anything don't feel anything.
I feel.
All right. So then
I feel pretty
we're
good.
going to go top of the round. It is the Salgrand that's going to go. Okay, so we've got only one target that is in range right now. So the first tendril comes down. Does an 11 hit your AC?
My regular AC?
Regular AC, yeah.
Regular AC is 16.
Nice. So one of them whips down at you and misses. Another one, and you duck underneath it. A third, wow, terrible fucking rolls. 3 of these are whipping down, trying to grab at you, and you're just ducking and weaving and staying out of the way. Next up is BP. What are you doing?
Oh, hooray. I'm going to cast this spell.
Oh,
Okay, crimes of surrounding illusion. Bizarre and saying you get DR1 against DR1 cold iron against a single opponent. So what opponent?
The one closest to mange.
The one close to mange. Okay, so that's probably the, I don't know. Give me a D6 roll. I'm just going to see. Evens, it'll be the one that has 2 odds as 1.
All right, give me a second.
Sure.
There's only 2 of them?
Yeah, there's only 2 of them. That
2
you
of
can
them,
see.
3 tendrils. Yeah.
/R 1d6. Go. 1.
Okay, so it's one with only 1 tendril. That's closest to mange.
Okay, so that one. Wait, isn't that one engaged in combat?
It is.
Okay, then I'm picking the one that's not engaged in combat because
Oh,
that is
both
the
of
much
them are
wiser
engaged in
idea. I thought there were like 30 of these things, and we're like, okay, we'll just carefully walk through the room.
Oh, there's 2 of them, and both of them are engaged right now.
Okay. Oh, they're both engaged with him?
They're attacking
Yeah.
Vortimer.
Oh,
I mean, they have reach, so there's that too.
yeah. Can they both reach range from where they are?
It seems that whatever secured those things up there specifically kept them away from mange.
Okay. Is there like a path I can go through that I wouldn't provoke them
Not
into
really.
range?
No, you're going to draw attacks of opportunity if you try and make your way through here.
Okay. Well,
I mean, what's the worst that could
I could die. I have like 6 hit points.
happen? What are you going to do?
Well, I guess I will go through the spaces of the one that that can't reach, or the one that I've cast this on,
Yep. Okay.
in an attempt to get to mange. I don't suffer half speed from blindness because I have blind fight and a trait that gives me that. So
Okay.
I got
So
no
then
penalties.
you've got DR1 against this thing, but it does get to make an attack on you.
It does.
So oh boy. What is your AC?
More than it should be, but less than you probably rolled.
What's your AC?
Like 13.
13. Phew, that seems
Can't wear armor.
pretty low.
He's a wizard.
Good enough. So this tendril
Oh,
whips above your
God.
head. You duck underneath this thing, appearing like some kind of monstrous thing. And with a move, you're able to make it over to mange. And as soon as you're there, mange. Actually, no. Give me a perception roll quickly, please.
Submit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing you failed to notice. Remember those spores that were causing fear and panic?
Oh, well, you didn't say what they caused, but yes.
Yeah.
He did.
You go running into mange. Mange, unfortunately, is in a fucking blind panic right now.
And
So
he might be suffering the effects of a rage song as well.
I'm not the hell with the rage song.
No, the dog.
all right. So give me 2 seconds here. Oh no. Oh no. You didn't like this song before. Fuck. Okay, so mange unfortunately does hit you with a 16.
Ew.
Then you take only 2 points of damage. So there's that. And he doesn't have that wolf thing where he gets to automatically trip. So that's
What?
good. So he gets you, and then you're kind of like, what the fuck? You dog.
How many hit points? Oh, I was about to say them.
Yeah.
Gosh, he's got very few. Okay, Gunther, you're up next. What are you doing?
All right, he already had his crossbow at the ready, so he's just going to take a shot at one of these things. I guess the one that.
Go ahead.
No! It's gonna explode.
Here we go. Big money. Nice. All right, now, Jamie, being the seasoned Pathfinder player that I know you are, I heard you say that you were focusing fire on the same one that Vortimer was attacking, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have precise shot?
Oh yeah, right. Well, these things are both engaged, I guess.
Yeah.
That's right.
No precise shot yet, I don't guess.
Okay.
No.
Do you have a point blank?
Yes.
Oh, wait.
I was gonna say the one that I ran past used its opportunity attack.
It did, but that doesn't affect whether or not he can be shot. So here's what, and I'll let your character would have known this. The more difficult shot would have been the one that is engaged with Vortimer. The other one has reach, and that's how it was reaching. That's the one with the one. Wait, Vortimer, you attacked the one with the one tendril,
I attacked
right?
the one with one tendril.
Yeah, so the one with 2 tendrils is the one that attacked BP, and that one is going to be easier to hit. Would you have made the decision to like focus fire, or would you have hit the one that was an easier target to hit?
Probably go for the easier target.
Easier
yeah,
target? Okay, cool.
since
So then,
the-
yeah,
the
you
penalty.
fire off. It sinks into the side, and once again, Kairos, you're just like, go, jeez, because it hits so close to that bag. Whew, but that is a hit. Yeah, it sinks into this thing, and it kind of like and whatever the tether that is attaching this thing to the ceiling, it still is like straining against it. Great shot. Any other action this round?
He'll just reload.
And then it's Algar. What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm not entirely certain about the action economy. First off, I can like blood rage as a like free action.
Every round,
free action.
and those who are more familiar with Pathfinder can correct me if I'm wrong. On your turn, you get a move, a standard, and a swift. You also have once per round you can do an interrupt, which is and then you have I believe an unlimited amount of free actions. Is that right?
It's up to the DM how many free actions he can get, but 3 is typically like the limit.
Yeah, no soliloquies.
Yeah.
Well, the round is 6 seconds, so you keep that in mind.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Communicating and
Oh,
you know,
and,
sometimes you have to run
balancing
internal
for something
clock.
else.
and remember, at the beginning of your turn, you can accept my rage and not spend your rounds, but use your bonuses.
Oh yeah, I totally So I totally am letting the rage trigger in me. My nanite states as they emerge to the surface. It is, yeah. The way I actually picture this is, it's to quote a better wordsmith than I. It's the color of television tuned to a dead channel, but like both kinds of television. So on the outside, it's like it's like the old snow on a Crackle TV, but like his eyes are kind of the bright blue of a modern television.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe a little bit of like a drophin at the bottom that if you look closely enough that you can read. So yeah. Okay. So I can hit these. I can at least hit the tendrils with my halberd, right?
Well, you don't have reach, so like in order to get a solid hit on this, you're going to have to leave yourself exposed to them hitting you.
That's fine.
Yeah. So
I'm raging. I'll take it.
Do you have training in acrobatics?
I do. Yeah.
What you could do is just for knowing how the system works, you could make a acrobatics check against the combat maneuver defense of these things, and that would allow you to do what Vortimer did, which is to tumble past the what do you call it? The tendrils of this thing, so it doesn't get an attack of opportunity on you.
Okay. So are there unlimited attacks of opportunity in Pathfinder?
No, you get 1 attack per target per action that they provoke.
Unless they have combat reflexes.
Yeah, combat reflexes let you take multiple ones, but never more than
Never
one.
more than one for
one
the one.
Because I thought he already took. Because I thought they already took some of their.
Vortimer dodged them, so they didn't use them.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they used one against BP.
Yeah.
No, they're used even if you miss. You get 1 per round unless you have an ability that says otherwise.
Yeah.
I got combat
Okay, so
reflex.
I thought they took one against BP.
One did.
One took one against me. and their turn
One
hasn't
took him.
come around
Okay,
yet.
yeah. Because I was thinking about attacking the one with 2 tendrils.
Sure.
But
Yeah, you can get in. That one is that one has not made an attack of opportunity yet.
Yes, it did.
okay.
I ran through it.
That's the one. The one Vortimer's fighting.
Yeah.
Mythic
Okay.
combat reflexes, you can actually spend a mythic point to make multiple attacks of opportunity on the same target they provoke.
But you need
Okay.
combat reflexes to make more than 1 per round.
Mhm.
Right.
If it's not gonna, if it's not gonna cost me any action, anything out or any like free actions, I'll just make the acrobatics check anyway.
Go ahead.
It's
Yeah,
part
alright.
of moving. So
Your move
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
oop, you're gonna get.
And okay, not
It's
so you saw what Vortimer did, and you like, all right, and you try and follow the same thing, and unfortunately, this thing whips at you. An 8 does not hit.
oh good. Okay, good.
It whips above you. And you get yourself in there. Go ahead and make your attack with your halberd.
Okay, so I also have cleave. So if I get the first attack, I can make a second one, as I understand it.
Are they close enough for that? They got to be adjacent.
I was thinking about that. That's why I went with the one with the 2 tendrils. I figured the tendrils would be
They're sort of
adjacent.
Yeah, because I've been saying that the one of them. This is the only time we won't be using a combat map. By the way, we'll be using a battle map going forward. It's just that for this thing, it was a pain. I didn't want to draw this fucking map because it would look shitty. So, okay. So anyway, yeah, they are not adjacent. But go ahead and make your attack roll against this one.
Okay. Oh,
A lot of D10s.
D10s. Oh, and don't I get some sort of bonus for being raging or?
Yeah, if you're using yours, it's like a +2 to damage and +2 to hit.
Okay.
Why did 5d10 get rolled though?
Okay, so here's the way that I've written yours on
5d10?
5d10?
What?
I'm not seeing that.
no,
I've
it's
got 2d20 and 4d10s on my screen right now.
Dude, I'm not seeing that.
yeah, I'm not seeing that either. Okay, so Brandon, the way that the way that the nanite surge works in the actual, like, for the sorcerer nanite,
That's right.
it like you can apply a poison effect on it, and then it does some strength damage if it succeeds. To be honest, that's kind of shitty. It's not a really, especially for a guy who's going to be like dishing out shit tons of damage. The way I built the version that I sent you was just using elemental bloodline.
Yeah,
And the way I was picturing that is that it would be the nanites flaring out and like tearing apart whatever you're hitting.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I
like that.
I mean, we can still, the other abilities that you gain going up, like the one where you can kind of transform into nanites, we'll keep that stuff. But rather than doing a shitty, poison attack that probably isn't, if what your whole thing is burst damage, the elemental bloodline may be a better way of modeling that. It'll just do slashing damage instead of elemental damage.
With that.
I was going to say the nanite poison is actually one of the stronger poisons because it goes up with levels. So I would not give it up, but that's my personal opinion.
Oh.
Well, it depends on what we're fighting in the campaign. Many things
it depends.
poison.
It's useless against undead, useless against robots.
Unless you reflavor it as nanites doing the damage and not poison. So.
Yeah. What do you think?
What was it? Heroes of the.
You know what? That's a decision we don't need to make in the middle of combat.
Pause in the middle of these tendrils or anything around them.
For now, what I'll do is just give me a d6 and we'll add that to damage to this thing.
Okay.
We'll figure out what it's going to be going forward. Boom. Nice.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I get 2 from the rage, right? And then I get 7 plus 11, so 11 damage total.
Points of damage. All right. So you race him with your halberd and you bring this thing down. This is the one that's got the crossbow bolt sticking out of it, thanks to Gunthar. How does this thing die?
I just kind of stick it. Let's see. We got the nanites thing going on here. Stick it. The nanites kind of run to the edge of the tip of the halberd, and I think they just kind of like it almost look like they make it decompose.
Nice,
like preternatural, and it flexes open and no explosion. And I look back meaningfully at Kairos.
Okay, you slash this thing, Kairos. You're like, ah! Oh
yeah,
nothing happened. All right, so that is it for Algar. One of these things is down. Vortimer, what are you doing?
So I can, as a move action, study the target, and I don't think that provokes an attack of opportunity.
Nope.
So I'm going to take just a second in my movements to pause and look at it and get that sweet +1 bonus to weapon attack and damage rolls against it. Yep. And then I'm going to swing at it.
Nice.
At the one that's still up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The one tendril.
Oh,
that hits again. All right. So with that didn't include your +1.
I didn't include my +1.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it's 19 and 6.
Are you doing my rage bonus as well?
I can't do your rage bonus because I
That's
can't
right,
morale.
So you slash at this thing, and because this is the injured one, that's actually sufficient to take it down. So how does this thing go down?
I think Vortimer, maybe continuing the acrobatics, rolls under one of the tendrils and then just comes up with a wicked strike kind of overhead, cuts this thing in half, and it falls. I don't know if it falls or if it floats up to the ceiling.
No,
since it's floating.
Like pendulums. And you can see that there's a crude chain that has been like worked through these things to secure them in place. So now both of them are and hanging just off of the, above the surface of the surface of the ground.
Mhm.
All right.
That's cool.
So right now, okay, as that was Vortimer's action, Kairos. So what you can see, I think, is Mange has got, taken a chunk out of Prophet and is losing his mind right now.
He bit my hand. I'm not happy with him.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to like burst out of the water, like, don't hit this. Oh, they're dead. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah, John, you get a point of Ferris Fortune for that. That's funny.
So I'm gonna get out of the water and look around and immediately go after Mange to try to calm him down. Brandon, I'm gonna post something in text chat. If you add this to your buffs, oh well, never mind, it doesn't work. But take the parentheses out of it. It might work then.
Okay.
Nope, it's not.
Do you have,
I'll do it later.
do you have handle animal as
I
trained?
do.
Nice.
I have a +2 in it.
+2. Sweet. Go ahead and give me a handle animal check, please. I'm going to give you +2 because it's your dog as well, too.
Yeah, I'm going to end the rage effect. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, well, nope. Calm down. Ah!
So, yeah, I think, we can chalk it up to the fact the dog is just blind panicked right now. So you're trying to, no, Mange, no. And it's taking it as, it's trying to protect you. So it's, jumping on the end of its leash.
Well,
Okay, so then it is. I guess I'll just put. I'm going to roll initiative for Mange here. 14 plus. Yeah, so he's going to go before you guys. All right, so Mange is going to get one more attack on Prophet. Come on. Oh, you said your AC is a 13, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I have spells like shield, but I didn't cast them. I casted, damage reduction.
Okay, so you still have your point of Ferris Fortune, right?
Technically, yeah, I haven't used it.
Yeah. Okay, so then you take 4 points of damage.
I'd rather not. Can he re-roll the attack roll? Wait.
No, you can just
I don't
spend.
know who-
If that was taking you down, you can just spend your point of Ferris Fortune and not take that damage.
Oh, okay then. Sure.
Okay, so give me a narrative explanation. What happens here? How does Prophet get herself just out of the reach of this thing's jaws?
I take a quick back step, and then rather than continuing to back away, I come back in and I wrap one arm around his neck, and I just shh, and I start petting him, running my fingers through his fur so that I'm out of the bite range.
Are you trained in handle animal?
No, but I can potentially offer him an additional save against the disease.
Oh yeah, sure. I like that. Is that
My goal is, now that I am touching him on my turn, I can use another Diviner's Fortune and give him a bonus to all of his stuff.
Let me roll here for him. I rolled a 3, so.
oh, no.
However, you know what? The max duration for this thing has actually kind of been exceeded anyway. So what I'll say now is that the handled animal check you were making there, Kairos, was actually a little higher because of this panic. It's going to be back down to normal right now. So, Prophet, if what you were doing was sort of trying to keep this thing calm, go ahead and give me a untrained handle animal here.
I've got a -2 at this. I have no charisma. I'm just shh.
Yeah.
Shh.
So the dog, as panic, you confining it right now is even making it more agitated. Gunther, what are you doing? Oh, you might be muted.
Sorry, I have to keep switching between screens to mute and unmute. He does what he always does, which is takes another shot. Or is everything dead?
Yeah, all the Solgrins are all dead.
Please don't kill the dog.
The BP is trying to calm down Mange, but Mange is losing his mind right now.
Yeah, there's not much Gunther can do to affect the dog. He doesn't have handle animal. And,
I'm fine. I'm fine with you making an untrained roll, and I'll give you +2 to it.
Could also grapple the dog.
Oh.
A non-lethal way of reducing it.
Yeah. Ugh. So again, both you two are running towards you, and the dog's just getting more and more agitated. Algar, what are you doing?
I'm gonna try to calm down this dog. I'm not untrained, but I've got a 2 in it for
And you
charisma.
get a +2 as well because
Yeah.
you guys are all working. The dog is familiar with all of you guys.
Yeah.
Let's see if a firmer approach works here. No.
Wait, what? Well, how'd
Oh,
that
no.
happen?
Remember, when you're adding a modifier, don't add plus the number. You just add the number. Otherwise, it like if you're adding a positive modifier, just add a number. If it's
Okay, so let me try that again then. I screwed that up. Okay, so just
still only a
put 2
7.
in. Oh wait. Oh, it actually showed. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do the 7. That's fine.
Okay,
It didn't work.
look at mange and you say no, no, and the dog finally kind of looks up and kind of blinks and recognizes you're probably still possessed with you're the tail end of your rope.
Yeah, good point.
So
Well, I assume it comes down now, right? Because I can turn it off.
yeah, and I'm picturing this is all
Yeah.
sort of it's tailing off, and so your voice carries through this whole fucking thing, and mange finally kind of stops, and his tail goes, and then he looks up at you, BP, and then kind of gives a lick on your face.
Great. I'm unhappy again. Why did I do this?
All right, so those 2 things are down. You got to mange. Those of you who have moved closer to mange are close to where that what do you call it? That altar is.
I was gonna
And
say, engineering. Is there a way to unhook mange from the wall?
oh yeah, like you could probably figure it out. However, I do need you guys to all make a perception check, please. First.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sorry,
look
I
around the room.
Darn it. That was knowledge, not perception.
Oh,
I don't like this input value thing that keeps coming up now because most of my values are already preset. It's just a matter of when I have specific modifiers.
you can turn them off.
I don't know who turned it on.
I did, because I want them on. Okay. All right, so Kyrus and Vortimer, you can hear, I think what you hear is the sound of those reptilian, childlike voices again, but they're not laughing right now. They seem to be, if you guess the rhythmic kind of nature of it and the sing-songy quality, picture like a really creepy child song being sung by like a gremlin.
Or like a
That's
slow mode down version of Frere Jacques over some stock footage. Someone's getting decapitated.
ice cream truck driving too slowly, so it's got that creepy like bump 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 bump.
As a musician, I'm offended.
So you can hear something chanting. Does anyone have training in knowledge religion?
Approximate knowledge of many things.
Yeah,
I will eventually have all knowledges.
No.
For now, I only had enough points for 3.
I've got a +1 because of bardic knowledge. I'll roll that.
give me your bardic knowledge.
I love being a bard. Unless I think things are going to explode.
Once again, the wrong. I think 3 times so far you've given the wrong conclusion.
Well, at least I'm not extraordinarily wrong about this. I just
Very true. Like it's gonna blow up. So yeah, that's basically all the information you've got. Is that there's this sing-songy quality, and those 2 characters, Kyrus and who's the other one who rolled really well?
Vortimer.
And Vortimer. You guys look over, and you can see that there is little tendrils of electricity that are arcing around the outside of that claw.
So does the claw count as a sculpture?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I think technically that's what my craft is sculpture.
Okay.
Can I use that to try to learn anything about like how it's been put together?
Yeah, give me a craft sculpture check. Let's just see whether you can, gain any insight from that.
Nope.
No.
I think
Okay.
you want to smash the sculpture because it's weirding me out.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make.
I hit it with my club.
So, really, just roll damage at this point. That's,
Okay. Oh, it's a d6 plus 3, so. Ooh!
Okay.
Smash!
So you hit this thing, and while it was it seemed to be made of solid, chunk of metal. It's really just little bits of fabric, or not fabric, but little bits of scrap that have been sort of fused together into this patchwork thing. You hit this thing. Would you kindly give me a reflex save, please?
I figured that would happen.
Yeah.
The electricity, always a reflex save.
Oof. So as this thing shatters, there's two things happen. One is you take 6 points of electricity damage. But you do shatter. It's completely destroyed. Second thing is for the briefest of moments, as that electricity is playing above your body, you can hear the shout, this incredibly loud and angry, like digitized kind of like scream in your ears. And then it's suddenly, just as fast as it becomes there, it's gone. As fast as what the pain goes. Kairos, you're the only one who hears this.
Ow!
Did we hear the shocking explosion?
Yes, you did.
Well, can I cast Detect Magic to see if there was any magic in the area or the lingering effects of evocation?
You don't need to. There was magic there.
Okay.
As lingering electricity zaps between my teeth, I'm going to cast Cure Light Wounds.
Okay, so in the immediate reaction of you, or consequence of you shattering that thing, you can now hear that chanting is all gone. And there's just angry, chattering from all over.
Screw you, gremlins!
Okay, 9, nice.
Oh.
Wow. What does it look like when you cast your Cure Light Wound spell? I didn't ask that.
It's basically I'm calling out in a little chant to Sarenrae, my deity, to bring the warmth and not the flame, to mend the wounds, and
Okay.
this is a soft, subtle glow starts healing around the body.
And Sarenrae's the goddess of the sun, isn't she?
The sun, redemption, and righteous fury.
So there's a soft glow, I guess, that would manifest when you do that.
Could be a raging flame too, so
Ah, nice. Okay, so you, so that your the scorch marks kind of disappear, leaving only the kind of blackened skin and oxidized air, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say nobody else get hurt because I can only put a Band-Aid on you now.
Okay. So you can hear the chattering of the gremlins, whatever's in the wall is pissed now. What are you guys going to do?
Well, we got mange back. Let's get the hell out of here and tell the grown-ups so we can get paid for this.
Because I think I count as the grown-ups, and we killed no gremlins.
Yeah, if we know that we can't hurt them without cold iron, I mean, there's no point in sticking around.
I've got a cold iron spear.
Everybody, a perception check again, please. Let's see who's got their eyes on the prize, as it were.
I have my eyes on nothing.
Yeah.
They're in some guy's pocket.
Actually, you know what? BP, you're not going to be able to make this roll because it's a sight thing.
Got it.
Okay.
And I did so well.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so Kairos and Vortimer, you guys see that in a kind of pinata style, the base of that, not the claw, but the base of that thing seems to have been stuffed with a bunch of things.
Are they magic things?
No, you would have detected that.
Yeah, okay.
I look at it and I poke at it with my spear a little bit so that I don't get shocked again.
So there are, if you sort of I'm going to assume that everyone sort of sees you, poke it at and you look back. Gunther, it looks like there's actually, you know what a gun looks like.
Oh,
Yes, of course.
It looks like there's 3 which seem similar to that. Now, I'm going to give you guys the description so you guys would probably know, but remember that your characters do need to make, I think it's a knowledge engineering to be able to identify these things.
Oh, I got this.
Oh, yeah, right. Hold on. Let me get the DCs for these then.
I don't have the technologist perk, so I can't do that.
Nobody does. We couldn't start with it.
But I have
For
no,
people,
not
right?
technologist.
I count as having technologist
the-
when using knowledge engineering checks due to my trait.
Yeah,
Sweet.
VP's the only one.
Oh,
Yeah.
roll twice for glitches.
Since I am trained and have a +9 in engineering, can I like take 10 on these if we're not in danger?
Well, I mean, you do have a bunch of pissed off gremlins around you, so I'm going to guess.
No.
All right.
Can I make an engineering check?
Gunther. Okay, so actually, this is awesome. That's going to happen here. So, Gunther, you grab one of these things. You're like, hot damn. And let's see here. How did BP? You sort of you feel in his hand. Gunther's got this thing up, like, all right, and looking around at the gremlins. And that's when you sort of whisper in his ear
No.
that what you are holding is
Some sort of ray gun. Gonna guess some sort of
it's
ray gun.
effectively a healing serum.
A healing serum.
So Gunther's got this thing up, and he's like, "All right, let's go." And you,
Yeah, don't shoot them with that. You're just gonna put their cells back together.
yeah. So
Looks like a Technic League pistol.
it does look like a Technic League pistol. So the two, what is in there? There is about actually here. I'll get you guys to roll for this. Give me 2d10 roll, please.
Each?
No, just one. Somebody. Whoever rolls it first, I'll take that first result.
Considering that I identified the thing, should I roll it?
Nice. Okay, so there are
Wasn't great, but it was better.
2 silver discs that come spilling out of this thing,
Oh.
Miata style. There are also 2, and BP, you're quickly able to identify a roll that good. There are 2 universal serums. That's what they look like, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Connor
That is
showed me these.
what you know.
Connor showed me images of stuff like this. There's some sort of
Right
medicine.
So, and this is the these are blue. So what this is it basically it'll heal 1d8 points of damage, and it grants you +4 enchantment bonus to strength for 3 minutes. But after that duration, you become fatigued for 1 hour.
Yeah. These are a powerful stim, similar to your rage.
Yeah. And however, you did roll well enough. So you sort of like shake your head and you take the serum out of Gunthar's hand.
Yeah.
And you replace it with something else that looks, let me see if I can hold it up without, I'll put my thumb over the thing. Looks like this, guys.
Ooh.
Oh.
It looks like a weapon.
That is a weapon. And what it is a stun gun. So, Gunther.
This one will help you more, Gunther.
Okay. I thought it was a piece of sculpture.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, no.
I
Yeah.
might have a little bit of experience with this. That's my way of saying that I get to re-roll glitches on unknown technological devices because of my trait.
Nice.
So maybe I should use it. I don't know.
Kyrus, would you give me another of
There you
your
go.
Yeah.
knowledge?
Gunther will give it to you. He's got.
All right.
One?
Gunther. All right. Can I try to maybe use this stun thing to shoot at the gremlins? So if we can knock them out, and then maybe we can like
Okay.
take them with us.
What the stun gun would require is the exotic weapon proficiency for firearms.
Oh, okay. So maybe Gunther should use it.
So
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
okay,
hold
I'll give
this
it back to
part and
Gunther.
aim that part.
yeah. If you try to use it without that, glitches may be a problem, and there's a -4 penalty. So
Yeah. So you kind of grab it, and you've got it turned sort of like the wrong way. You're sort of holding it with 2 hands. And Gunther, you're like, no.
Give it back.
You're gonna
give it
shoot your little toe off here.
back.
what I want is a untrained knowledge check, whatever your bardic knowledge thing is.
it's a +1, so I'll just go engineering.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Nope. I think it does this, and I'm wrong.
Okay.
Of course, it doesn't do that.
Prophet,
Yeah.
would you hold on here? Let me quickly check to see how something works here.
Mhm.
I think you may be able to see something here.
Aside from that, can we check for Jenkins tracks again in here?
You absolutely can, yeah.
Okay.
ahead and give me somebody pick who's taking the lead and who's going to do the aid another.
If there's is there some way? I don't know if this is not really in the rules, but since I've got the get the reroll glitch thing, is there any way, like, say, if Gunther were to use this, that I could like help him so that it would help his any glitch roll?
You might be
Is, or
fate point.
You know what I'll let you do is, why don't you give me a knowledge engineering check?
okay.
I'm gonna. There's something that you might be able to pick up here. How do we do here? Oof, and 11's not. So yeah, you have figured out that you were pointing in the wrong direction.
The trigger doesn't pull that way.
Would you, BP? Would you give me a knowledge arcana check, please?
Oh, undoubtedly.
How do we do here? Whoa! All right,
I'm
so
smart.
Wow.
BP, you've corrected Gunther, and then you've handed over to him, and then Gunther, you're sort of like getting ready to test this thing out. BP, you look over and you're like, wait, there's an aura on this thing.
Yeah, this thing's got magic.
So you
Something's
take.
there that wasn't
I had
there
detect
before.
magic active too, so like I
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah, and that's where. Let me see here. What type of aura are you seeing on here? This is.
If it's just +1, probably transmutation, I think.
No, it's not that it is an enchanted thing. It's something else.
Oh.
Okay. So I believe it is a necromantic aura.
Ooh.
That's necromancy.
That's on the
Not
stun
that
gun?
my character doesn't care. Necromancy is entirely okay.
And that's on the stun gun?
That's not surprising. All guns are necromancy. He pointed at him briefly.
Boom, summon dead. Boom, summon dead. Very good.
Can I identify the specific spell with that roll, and the fact detect magic is active for more than 3 rounds?
I'm trying to work my work this through my OSR lens into into what this is in this game. Oh, here we go. I know which one I'm looking up here. Okay, so what this is. Yeah, it is necromantic aura. Whew.
I need spell. I can use spellcraft to identify exactly what it is.
Sure, give me a spellcraft check, please. Ooh.
Okay.
So DC for spellcraft is what? Is it 15 plus the level of the spell, or?
I think
Yeah.
it's like 10 and the level of the spell. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
Let's look it up real quick.
Spellcraft DC is 15 plus level.
Okay. So yeah, unless
you
it's a cantrip, I didn't get it this time.
for sure.
I can always try again.
Yeah. What you can say with your good roll from before, though, if this was something that had like a necromantic enchantment on it, it would still show up as an enchantment aura. So it's a necromantic spell that somehow infused this thing.
So it's some sort of necromantic enchantment. I'm going to need to take this back to Connor's lab if I was going to figure out more.
So that's all happened right now, and the gremlins seem to be getting a little more agitated, and you can hear the rattling of something.
Oh.
Kairos,
Towards
remember
us?
what you had learned before about these things?
Yes, the Jenkins?
Yeah, that individually they're little dangerous and tricksters and whatnot too, but collectively
They do weird stuff.
they're it's like a Fey network that can work some kinds of powerful magic. And
Can we sense a building of magic energy with her detect magic ability?
I don't. What she can do is make a spellcraft. BP, give me a spellcraft check again.
I would do it, but I'm only trained locally, so I don't have.
I was going to say I can see the auras within 60, but yeah, spellcraft I can identify.
What
specific
happens
things.
is you're sort of focused on this thing, trying to figure out what this aura is, and then Kairos hits you on the shoulders, like, "What are they doing?" And you stop and listen, and you have no idea.
I'm like,
Yeah.
is there another way out of here? We didn't.
Well,
look at
spellcraft is a specific spell, and detect magic is 60 feet, not 30, like my Death Watch. So I can see magic's going on, probably.
Let's not stop. Let's quit stopping and trying to figure out what it should be. I know what I'm doing here. So all right. So the only way that you can identify to get out is through the tunnel.
I say we get out of here before they bring the place down on us. They
Yeah.
obviously created it.
Let's go.
I'd check the hole for any more things that we might be able to grab, and then out.
Okay. So make a All right. So who is going to be first into the tunnel then?
Somebody with dark vision, I guess.
How about Gunther goes
Gunther
first
will
and
take the
Vortimer
lead.
will... Yeah, Vortimer
Who
will
is
back up the
leading
back.
Mange along? I am going to need a handle animal check with
I'm-
those who are untrained with it. You can still make the attempt with +2.
I'd say same with Gunther.
He'll stash the stun gun in the water sack as they move along, and then,
Okay.
What were the other two things? Just
Also ready.
2 healing serums?
2 healing serums. Yeah, I mean I think that's what they're called.
I was gonna say, due to my high initiative, I would say 1 for the blind prophet, considering I don't have a lot of stuff I can do in every turn. Gives me a heal option, and then the second one we give to someone who's in the fray a lot.
Me.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'd say to him. But yeah, before we head out, I take a small bit of rope and make sure that Gunther has something to hold on to Mange with in case he needs to pull him.
okay. So Gunther, would you kindly give me a handle animal check, please? +2.
Okay, that's good because it's completely untrained for him.
Mhm. Come on, boy. Come on. Actually, maybe we should just let Algar do it because he was the one who got him to listen before.
I could try.
You've got the
Yeah,
body.
Gunther wasn't going to lead him. He was going to lead point unless.
Sure.
Yeah, if Gunther's gonna take point, I'll be with Mange.
Okay. Algar, go ahead.
Let's see. Animal handling. Where are you? Handle animal. So I keep looking for animal handling. Oh, and then I forgot to add the +2, so 10, I guess.
10 is good enough. That's what it's. So there's a bit of resistance, and then you kind of like, come on, and the dog plunges into the water as well.
It's gonna smell like wet dog when we get out of here.
So you guys make your way one by one through the tunnel. Fortunately, whatever these things were doing, I guess here's the important thing. Who is the last person to come out?
Considering they're mostly pissed off at me, it'd probably be me, so I can give the others a chance to get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wise. It's definitely not me.
I just know the moment that I get up towards that tunnel, I'm casting grease on myself, and we're squeezing out as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Okay. So
Yeah.
you guys make your way out. How are you getting across that pit?
Right.
I have a grappling hook with a rope.
Yeah, you still got
Who's
that.
really strong? They could probably just throw me across the pit.
Algar, he can rage and
Yeah, I could rage and throw, but that's
Well, I mean, it's a 5-foot ceiling.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of room for throwing.
yeah, true.
Well, we still have the rope that
Yeah.
we can rig up as we did earlier and
Yeah.
throw it across and try that again.
Sure.
Yeah, I've got that.
That
just
means
give
I
me
have to stand there and wait.
Who's
Get pulled
carrying
up.
Mange across?
Oh, that's true.
Mange,
Does anybody have anything we could tie Mange
Mange
up
can
like on
probably
one of
make
us?
Mange can make that jump easy. I mean, he's
Yeah,
a
if you
quadruped.
need a handle animal.
Okay.
You're like, go.
Go.
There you go. Who's rolling?
Oh, who's rolling?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Who's
Algar,
are we rolling
he's
for?
listening to you pretty well. So why don't you go ahead and make the roll?
For animal the
Handle
animal handling. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not me. I would roll so low that Mange would just push me in the hole.
Attack you again. Ah, no. Okay.
And this time I did add the so.
Okay, good. So you're like, go, and the dog with scoops and hops
Yeah.
across. Now that you're getting closer to the light as well, and you've seen him, Mange seems to be fairly. There's nasty little claw marks all over him too.
Ooh.
Aw, poor pupper.
Oh.
Okay, you guys make your way one by one across, and you guys get out of the thing. And when the last of you, Kairos, you make your way out of the thing, you step over and you realize that claw that had been affixed over the mantle has fallen off.
Huh.
Can I take it?
Yes, absolutely.
It's not too big. I'll shove it into one of my sacks and just
Yeah,
haul out of there.
that big. Yeah. Okay. And I'm picturing it's probably made of like aluminum or whatever the sky metal equivalent thereof is. So yeah, all right. So you guys are out. Whew. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna sit down with my head between my knees and just breathe as deeply as I can for a little bit.
Okay, nice.
I think
I'm
Vortimer's
brushing the
gonna.
dust off my robes and getting ready to go tell Connor an update on what's going on down there. Maybe he
Sure.
can give us some additional help.
I'm gonna
I'm
pick
playing
up
with-
my bow and arrows and just take a sort of a crouch by the edge of the tunnel and keep watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Algar and
Check
Gunther-
on the dog.
Yeah.
Yes, you look it over. I mean, Mange is, as I said, like Mange is tough as nickel steak, right? Like he is pretty banged up and whatnot, but it's not the first scratches he's got. It's not gonna be the last one. His little like stub of a tail is like wiggling back and forth. He's very happy to be out of that circumstance.
I'm hanging out with Vortimer at the entrance, making sure nothing comes out.
Sure. So about maybe 10 minutes goes by and there's nothing. Nothing seems to be coming out of there. You don't even hear, like you're straining to try and pick up the sound of that sinister laughter that you've heard, and nothing. So Dolga Fredert, the one who hired you guys to deal with this matter, offered you money to deal with this matter as well. Maybe you might want to. You could probably find her at the Foundry Tavern in the evening. So you might want to. You guys have actually not dealt with the gremlins.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I brought a claw for proof that we did something.
Yeah.
Well, or
That's-
they might know
we-
something about based on the symbol.
Sure.
If there's some organization that we should be aware of.
And now that everything's quiet and clear, I'd let everybody know about when I got shocked. I heard this weird scream of metallic, like, agony or anger, and I was like, I think my synapses were misfiring, but I think it happened.
Okay.
Maybe we could ask for some cold iron although we probably should have done that
Or-
when we started.
I
Cold
warned you
iron
guys. I
blanch.
warned you.
Yeah.
Cold Iron Blanche. Now that we know that, we can prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
did
we're
know
gonna-
that last time. We probably should have asked. Like,
We're
she
gonna
didn't say she didn't get
So this is you
gremlins.
guys now. This is all this conversation. Like, well, you go with it later. You guys check in on Ragnar. Ragnar seems to be making some good progress, and you leave Mange with Ragnar to make sure that he doesn't get into trouble again.
Yeah.
And you guys are hanging out at the Foundry Tavern, kind of talking about what the next day is, like how you're going to approach this the next day.
Oh,
If you-
next day I get to prepare new spells.
Yes, so that's always a good thing. I rolled for Dolga. So at Dolga, you show her the symbol, and she doesn't know anything about it. Let's see if Connor
What about Joram?
Joram
the
Kite?
priest?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good chance. Yeah. Actually, a better chance. You know what? Joram is probably. I'll use that roll for Joram. So when you were checking in with Ragnar and leaving Mange, and Ragnar is like, "What did he do to you? What have you guys had done to my dog?"
Saved his life.
He tangled with a group of gremlins. Got to keep him on a shorter leash till we get him cleared out.
It'll take more than gremlins to take him down, won't you, Mange? Won't you, Mange? And Mange is kind of like, whoa. So, but you're talking to Joram Gunther. You're sort of, get Kyrus to come over and show the symbol. Joram
You've seen
looks,
one of these before, Joram.
he looks, and remember, as a refresher, Joram is played in the film version of our campaign by Ian Holm. So he looks at this thing and he says, "This is a symbol that is a cult found to the east, new as well. It seems as if we are being surrounded by these hostile cults now. The cult, it's a small faction that I believe is located in Scrapwall,
Okay.
and nasty pieces of work from what I hear. Hobgoblins, orcs, half orcs." And he holds up and a gesture to Gunther to say less amenable half orcs. But they call their lord, whether this is a true divinity or some demon that is granting power, they call him Hellion.
That's not ominous at all.
And you found this with the gremlins?
And yes, it was on an altar, and it shocked the living hell out of me.
The actual living hell.
That is,
I almost died.
that's troubling. That's very troubling. I think Yeah, I'm assuming you guys have sort of filled in like why you guys were, investigating the gremlins. He's like this. If they've got some connection, both the idea, the prospect of gremlins worshiping some divinity is troubling in and of itself, but also the spread of that cult to Torch that cannot be allowed.
No.
I think there is certainly an even greater sense of urgency to what your task is. If you need assistance, the church will contribute 200 silver discs to this. Use this to try obtain the weapons that you will need to deal with these.
So I think as a player, I have a good sense of Ian Holmes' kind of tenses and all of that sort of stuff, his mood. But as a character, Vortimer does not really. So I'm going to pause and probably shake him a little bit as I stare at him and study target and then sense motive on him.
Done. Go ahead. Yeah.
Excellent. And that's, I get a +1 on top of that.
Okay, so it's 18. I mean, he seems sincere. Like his concern, past experience with this dude, and obviously Vortimer has a hard time understanding how biological.
Damn it, Vortimer, he's not drunk. The man's just talking to us.
This is not the first time that Vortimer has like inappropriately been like, do you really mean that?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think he's.
Yeah, he seems completely on the level. Like his concern is if what Vortimer was thinking is like maybe this is just some kind of church rivalry bullshit. It does seem that this is genuinely a concern for the community and something that would be a threat to Torch.
What's this hellion about?
He's not hiding anything.
No, as far as you can tell, he's not hiding. He's not keeping anything back from you.
Okay, good.
What's this hellion about? What's he got you so concerned?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could do like a knowledge check on Hellion and his scrap.
Unless you guys have trading in religion, then you got.
That's why we're asking you, Jorv. What's this guy about? What does he do?
I'll be researching religion for level 2.
All he knows is that this thing is worshipped by those types. Why don't you guys? What I can do is I can give you a little more information about Scrapwall. Why don't you guys give me knowledge local if you're trained in it?
Can do. I might have picked up some rumors.
Yeah.
Can I do knowledge geography instead of knowledge local?
No, this would be a local thing because it's specific to. It's not how the layout is necessarily. So, Kairos,
it's only one better. But
Scrapwall is kind of like Vortimer. You know this as well too. You maybe have been there. Scrapwall is like what Immortan Joe's place is like in Fury Road. That's kind of what this. It's a giant wide or like Thunderdome. It's rival gangs that are incredibly fucking violent, and there is an industry similar to Torch where they're salvaging sky metal and stuff like that, and selling it either up or down river. I'll show you on the map actually where Scrapwall is, just to so we all know where we're talking about.
So if I recall correctly, you heal a number of hit points equal to your level plus your con modifier every day.
Well, we'll deal with that afterwards. So Scrapwall is right over to the east there. And what it is imagine an entire city built around an enormous garbage heap. That's what Scrapwall is. And it's if there is a god that has come to prominence in Scrapwall, there's no way it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at the map, it's kind of out here, hills and stuff. Are there roads and passages, ways? Basically, I'm wondering how did they get around this big rent in the earth?
Yeah.
Probably the river.
Okay.
Yeah, the rivers. They could sail downriver to Hadrothakatos and then up to Torch.
Okay.
Just
Well, you mean how did that's how people would travel there. How these gremlins got here? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Gremlins, that from your previous roles, that gremlins are a domestic problem sometimes. It's just something that Numeria is infested with the little fuckers. But whether those things would have traveled from Scrapwall and come here to bring it, or somehow the cult came here otherwise, that's where Jordan is really at a loss. So
we need to go by boat to Scrapwall if we were to go there.
If you were to go there, you would need to go. Yeah, you could travel overland, but it's insanely dangerous traveling overland. To be honest, thanks to a Kelid tribe called the Bloodgars, it's not exactly safe traveling over river either. But yeah. So what we'll wrap up with, guys, is you guys are these conversations and you trying to piece together what's happened, has happened. Takes place at the Foundry Tavern. Is there any sort of insights or plans you guys are thinking of? Like, there's this cult out there somehow. There's these gremlins. We'll deal with purchasing of stuff between sessions because we don't need to do that on at the table. Any kind of insights you're offering or plans? What are your characters sort of thinking right now?
Well, the gremlin problem is more significant in Torch, especially if they get into the water treatment. We don't want that to happen.
And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they've already injured Ragnar and nearly killed me and my friends and the dog. So I've got a personal vendetta that almost rivals the robot one. So
Nice.
We left that tunnel open too. I'm kind of the mind maybe we should collapse it just to slow them down a little bit.
I don't know about collapsing
overnight.
it, but
We
could leave somebody on watch at the very least at the tunnel, kind of 24/7. And then I'm wondering if I can use my hunting skills to make some like deadfall traps or something, kind of basically just something. I'm thinking maybe if we can hurt them a little bit, because we have only shot one of them. I don't know if I guess Vortimer doesn't have a good sense if they're kind of like dumb animals or if they're smart. He's got a sense that they're cunning. But that maybe if we can hurt them, we can convince them to make a fight out of it instead of just running around.
Okay.
Yeah, got to find a way to force them in the open. Maybe. Smoke bombs.
Smoke bombs.
They still have to breathe.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
We could go down there and build a really big fire and smoke them out.
It sounds like you got a plan in place. So as you guys are wrapping up, this is not going to be a long night of drinking and celebrating. It'll be, early to bed. And you guys are all leaving the tavern now. BP, you're not going to see this because you can't see. But everyone else, you step out and you're sort of getting ready to you're like, all right, we'll meet up, first thing tomorrow morning. We'll get our stuff from the local shop, and then we'll head out and get that. You guys are all bathed again in what you always know, the violet light of the torch.
Oh no!
And then there's a flicker.
Yeah.
And you all sort of look up because it flickers usually, but usually it pulses up in brightness and goes down. This time it flickered and went down. And all of you, having spent so much time here, know this is.
Did it go out?
You're looking at it. It flickers like a dying light bulb. And for the first time in more than a century, the namesake of Torch is black.
So that rumbling sound of flame in the air is gone. Everything's uneasily quiet then,
What
is my perception of it.
Mean?
Well, and
we will find out in 2 weeks' time.
No.
All right, let me get out of the.
You're lucky that my camera's off. No, I get.
Okay, out of the game. Stop sharing. Is it? Yes, it is. There we go. Okay, cool. So for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for episode 3 of our Iron Gods adventure. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, you can leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and we will endeavor to get back to you in a timely fashion. Alternatively, you can reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, or you can shoot me an email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. As well, a massive thank you to my players for playing today. So, guys, thanks so much for getting up early and getting back into the gremlin den.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I'll also mention that in the link of the video, or the description of the video, there is a link to the charity fundraising campaign that we're running on the channel. That is the Heroes Save Villages campaign. It's something where we have paired up with the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. Last year, we raised over $1,000 to help them with doing the very good work that they do to help out children in high needs. And we've got a good start to this year's campaign as well. If you want to learn about the different rewards that are available for donors, you can find that at the description of the video or description of the campaign. You can also learn all about SOS Children's Villages and the very good work that they do by following through on the link. That's obviously not an obligatory thing. I don't want anyone to feel obliged to do that. But if you enjoyed the session, if you enjoyed the campaign, if you enjoy the content on the channel, I just ask that you consider clicking through and learning more about how you can help out some kids who really could use some help. Otherwise, boys, thanks so much for another great session. This was a lot of fun. I will send information about the loot and whatnot that you found and the gear. We can talk about how you want to spend money. You certainly will have enough time to do that. And then 2 weeks from now, we will find out what the fuck is going on with that torch.
Good intro. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, cool, guys. Well, then, until next time, for those listening at home, thanks again for watching and happy gaming.